playing, those guys would have got all in Bostic's face and made those officials have to separate them.
And look, the narrative, the idea here that this team has no fight in it, that, just plays right into that. Right?
Yeah. It's,
no fight in them even when their quarterback gets knocked out cold in the field in a dirty hit.
And those young kids, they don't know any better. They just don't know. Connor Williams, Connor McGovern, maybe even Joe Looney being out there. Joe Looney wouldn't have stood for that. But those were all young kids. They don't know how to play the game that way yet.
Obviously, it's a moot point, but do you think Dak Prescott would be able to be more successful behind this offensive line?
Oh, he's proven. This offensive line, at least with Dak, that he would get rid of the ball and he would take some shots, or he could be mobile enough, scramble. Yeah, he was 2-3? He was 2-3 behind this line that was, it was bad. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dak Prescott is the reason why you see the wheels completely falling off this team right now is because no Dak Prescott out there. And it's not just because of his ability to play, it's his leadership. It's the accountability. I saw some guys that were accountable today. I tell you what, seriously, Van Der Esch, I thought he was an accountable player today. But there's just not enough of those guys out there yet.
Zeke Elliott, 12 carries, 45 yards, an average of less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time where people thought that Zeke made Dak.
Well, what's been a struggle is that every week it's not now just that you play
because
the
of his
Cowboys,
ability to play,
it's to be a back that has 100-plus yards carrying the ball, and it helps
having a career day against the Cowboys
exactly.
Defense.
Gibson has 20 carries, 128 yards. Long run of 40 yards, but still, when you run the football the way they were and play great defense, Kyle Allen doesn't have to play in this game. The guy at Cleveland doesn't have to play in this game. That's reality right now for this defense.
Yeah, the real tragedy here is that the Cowboys offense will have no shot to get on track playing against the Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
Because that's whatever ails you on offense, just play the Cowboys defense.
Sure. And today, I didn't feel like necessarily that, here I am talking about, making light of Worley and what he's done. Anthony Brown didn't play very well today. There were plenty of times where routes were running across the field and he was in chase or he was in off coverage or, it just.
How bad must Reggie Robinson be?
Well, I think
you can't even get active.
Well, this is where you're to the point now. This is where you're to the point where you need to play Bradley Anae, Reggie Robinson, and coaches. If Jerry Jones likes to talk about patience and being patient and this, that, okay. Well, now as a general manager, evaluate your football team. Ask the coaches, hey, in a meeting, hey, are we opposed to playing this guy? Are we opposed to playing this guy? That's where I think they need to be at right now.
You mentioned earlier, the leadership void without Dak. It's obvious. This is a great leader, a guy that can keep everybody in check. I thought this team had a lot of leaders on defense. What happened to those guys? What happened to DeMarcus Lawrence being a team leader?
Oh, I worry about and I said this on our show the other day, on the show I do every afternoon, that we have a situation here now where you do have the hot boys. It's a clique. And when you're a losing team, do you need cliques in your locker room?
No.
Now, players hang around each other. All right, you and I could be teammates, but necessarily I don't have to go to dinner with you.
Right.
But are you forming cliques? And now you're allowing the cliques to kind of get together and talk about the real issues of what's going on with the team. So, could the hot boys, that clique, be in the locker? I don't think in a locker room right now when you're losing this badly that you need cliques or division. Right. And that's maybe where your problem is. I give the hot boys a lot of credit when we were in the pandemic and trying to get aid to people and stuff like that and help.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think you need cliques in that locker room.
Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin, still to come. We'll hear from Everson Griffin, plus other Cowboys on the Dallas Cowboys postgame shows. They fall to 2-5 on the season. A new low for the 2020 Cowboys. They lose 25-3 to the Washington football team. Dallas Cowboys football will continue.
Yeah, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is Law Nation, L-A-W Nation. Really appreciate you all. building a plane while we're in the air. We just did a 3-hour stream with me and Big Game James and Scott Walker. Devastating loss. It's a situation where we can look back and we can say, being couch GMs, we're a whole lot better than Jerry Wayne, right? We know who to at least go out there and sign, right? But nevertheless, this is what it is right now. We looking at this thing like, come on, Cowboys. It's one of those things as well. It's like we can't get ahead of ourselves because of the fact that this team continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. Let me know if I'm lying, right? Let me know if I'm lying if we're not doing the same thing. And I'm tired of eating this crow over here. This 2 weeks in a row now? The crow daily diet is not a good thing. So here on Law Nation's page, we do post-game thoughts, post-game reviews, and things like that. There's really no bright spotlight that we can point out in this particular game. And outside of Tony Pollard, right? Tony Pollard showed us some good things. There was a deep pass on from Ben DiNucci to Cooper, but he was cold at that time, so I don't think that he thought that he would get out there, and he was running for his life. Andy Dalton got knocked out of the game, and that's a given, right? That's a flat out given. When you think about it and you contextualize it, you would say to yourself, well, it's bad for us on that one. But, this is next man up. That's what it is. We can cry about it for a second, but the reality of it is the Washington football team says yes. They licked their chops and they said, yes, we're going to get to the quarterback regardless of the scenario, regardless of the situation. And that is exactly what they did, regardless of how we look at it, Cowboy Nation. And we up against this thing right here that this team, this philosophy of thinking that all is well, is way out the window. We like our guys is way out the window. We are laughing stock. We're no different than what the old school Browns used to be, right? We're no different than Cincinnati, at least they play with a heart today, right? We're no different than those teams. No, we are. We are no different than this team. How do we fix this from Bruce? You don't fix it mid-season now. You done waited too late. The people that could have fixed this is long gone now. All of that is out the window. The people that had a chance and opportunity to fix this, it's over with. I don't think that they would have a chance right now, even if we wanted them to have the chance, right? Even if we wanted them to have the opportunity. I think that they waited too late, and that's just what the bottom line is. Let me see if they're back live.
Save 20%.
Still on commercial break. And this is from 105.3 The Fan. I'm going to post a link in the chat so that you guys can go there and listen along as well. If you do those type of things, if you want to listen along to them. And we're going to be on this thing talking about it, right? That's the link right there, 105.3 The Fan, if you want to listen along. If you got radio.com, you can do the same thing that I'm doing. Shout out to them for this, and this will be Brian Brothers.
Any budget.
All right, so I think I got everything set up now. Let me see. That damn crow, boy. I don't know, who should I put up there? Should I keep the crow, Or should we put Jones and things up there, right? Y'all like the Jones or the crow? Which one y'all want? You can put him up there, right? Who y'all want to see? Look who you came to see. Everybody, come on and dance with me. It's a losing party right now. We losing, baby. We are. And it's one of those things, Cowboy Nation, whereas we can look at this thing and say, okay, we knew what the problem was all off season, and they still have yet to assess that, right? Let me know if I'm lying, right? We knew that we needed some help on the defensive side of the ball, but they love the chemistry. They love the chemistry. They said, hey, we don't want to exploit the chemistry. We don't want to damage the chemistry. We don't want to damage the locker room. We want to keep everything inside. The confidence for the team. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that, right? We love our guys. Oh, I'm sorry. We like our guys. You can like a lot of things, you can love a lot of things, but the reality of it, they don't get you wins. Talent is talent, evaluation is evaluation. That is the reality of it. regardless of everything. I used to have a 95 Honda Civic, and I loved that car. It was my first car when I was in college, what have you. But when it got time, when I was down there in Jackson State, when it got time for me to come up that hill, off of I-55, that car was doing like this, Harlem shaking. Couldn't putt. It putt. It said, hey, I done drove too long. I rolled till the wheels roll off, baby. The car, I love the car. And I can hear my uncle to this day saying, hey, man, putting that, you trying to be like Fast and the Furious, putting all of that stuff on it, but that ain't nothing but a go-kart, fam. That ain't a real car. The car was just a shaking, struggling, 4-cylinder car. It took forever to get up a hill. I love that car. Had tinted windows on it. Boy, had the 17-inch aluminum rims on it. It was nice. Put the new manifold on that thing myself. I love that car, but it couldn't get me nowhere. It couldn't pump up a hill. Couldn't pull. Like, how you got to squeeze and merge into a lane. And now it was just Harlem Shake, baby. Harlem Shake. I even put one of those little fenders on it, the little spoilers on the back of it, right? I thought that they'd give me at least an inch faster. I put one of them cool air intakes on it, boy. I changed the muffler. I put one of them loud mufflers. You could see me coming before it came, right? He said, man, boy, you better go on with that go-kart, man. You got to get you a real car.
Post-game show.
Thing is, I didn't know what a real car was until I got behind one. You can't put me in a 4-cylinder car now. You can't. When I go rent a car, when the company, when they fly me here, fly me there, they said, Law, here's your rent a car. This is what the company is willing to pay. They willing to pay for the 4-cylinder car. I said, nah. Give me the money for the 4-cylinder car. I will pay extra for the 6-cylinder. I'm not finna get into a 4-cylinder car. I'm not bougie or anything, but I know what I want. And you got to fight for the things that you want out of life. Newsflash, I had to pay extra, for the 6-cylinder car. I can't get in the 4-cylinder car. I can't fit.
Protecting one another. So it definitely was probably not the response that you would expect.
When you say not the proper response, is that something you will address with your team in the future?
I've answered the question. We go on to the next question, please.
Okay, he getting a little
Did
hard
you
now.
think the hit was dirty?
The player was disqualified from the game, so I think it was clearly. I think we all understand clearly what a hit is categorized.
There's Mike McCarthy. Not the proper response was the quote that he said. Then when asked to elaborate, said he didn't really want to.
I mean, he's disappointed that he's disappointed that the Bostic took a run at his quarterback. He's already lost his starting quarterback this year. Now he's down to with Ben DiNucci, and they're going to have to figure out some things. How they want to. Gilbert is now going to be in play, but yeah, it's you kind of you look at these things and you say, unfortunately, that happens in football that way. You're going to get some hits that, but he could be mad. He could be mad about his players not defending the quarterback. But like I told you, Ari, he's got kids out there. He's got kids out there playing offensive line. That's the problem. And I fully believe with my heart, if Zach Martin was playing, Tyron Smith was playing, Lyle Collins was playing, they would have to separate. There would be flags. There'd be multiple flags on the play of those guys going after Bostic. But these kids don't know any better. That's the problem right now.
Academy Sports and Outdoors, a store with top brands like Adidas, Shimano, Rawlings, Columbia, all at guaranteed low prices like you've never seen. Visit them in-store or at academy.com.
I normally agree with Brian Brothers, but I definitely disagree with him now. Damn, man, there ain't no god doggone kids out there. Them grown men are getting paid north of $500,000 a year. North of that. Those are grown men out there. Don't give me the kids situation. Don't give me that. Those guys played all through high school, all through college. They're in the pros right now. Dog it. And Cam Irvin? Is he a kid? Is he a child? Is he an infant? Is he a baby? Don't be pacifying the situation. Now, I love Brian Broaders though, but those are not kids. Let's be real with it. Those are not kids. Do not let them boys off like that. Do not let them boys off like that. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Give
they ain't kids.
the football team a lot of credit for their ability to play on the back end. They didn't give up any big plays. They had the waggle that got on them, with Dalton Schultz. But yeah, it was a very tough game for the quarterback having to deliver the ball an even tougher game for the receivers to have to get separation. And, you can benefit. This is how if you're the Dallas Cowboys, this is how you would want to have played defense throughout the year. You wanted to have gotten pass rush, and then the defensive secondary doesn't get as taxed as much.
What are you seeing from this defensive line for the Cowboys? I mean, is this goes back to this the scheme or the players?
No, they're not good enough. The players aren't good enough. Guys, I mean, we saw Everson Griffin. Hey, congratulations. There was some good coverage down the field. He ran down Allen from behind. Aldon Smith is times can win. Depending on what you believe, the win rates with Lawrence. He's 4th and 1. They're not going to snap the ball. He jumps off sides to give him fresh set of downs. I mean, you could just kind of go on and on and on about the pass rush. The defensive tackles get moved. They get turned. The linebackers get exposed.
How many guys in this defense do you think would be starting or playing meaningful snaps for other teams in the NFL? How many of these guys are actual NFL contributors?
Yeah, well, Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, I think
Leighton
Lawrence. Vander Esch. Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs.
Diggs. See, I think Diggs would probably be a guy that would I think Diggs is having to play out of necessity. Yeah, because of what's happened with the Woozier.
Yeah, he's your number one.
Yeah, corner. I don't have a problem with play. If you're going to be bad, go ahead and get him experience back there. I thought Diggs was going to start to begin with when we got to the season when we were doing our shows and stuff. I was like, oh, hey, well, what do you think of the secondary, Brian? Well, I think that Diggs needs to start. Yeah, it's not pretty for him. It's not pretty for him at all. He's struggling, and but I think for the most part, you just need to keep him out there and keep letting him get that experience in order to go forward here.
Cowboys lose 25-3 to the football team. 877-881-1053 is the number if you'd like to call or text and get into the postgame show with Brian Broaddus. I'm Ari Temkin. Let's talk to Jake in Garland. Go ahead, Jake. You're on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
No doubt.
Okay, guys, here's what I think ought to happen. First of all, you bench everybody that's a starter. You start playing all your young players. Hope you lose and get in the LOL race to get Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. If you're 2-14 at the end of the season and you still don't have that number one pick, you trade whoever you have to, including Zeke Elliott, including Dak Prescott, to that team that's got that number one, and you start with the guy that's the best quarterback that's come out of college in a long time. That's it.
Appreciate the phone call, Jake.
Yeah,
by the way, they might not have to bench all their starters to finish 2-14.
Yeah, the starters are all hurt. That's kind of you're in
they
that.
They can just keep it going with these players and probably still go 2-14.
And Jake, by the way, I'd watch that kid at Ohio State too. He's a pretty good quarterback as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to be realistic. I understand Jake and where he's going there, but you're going to naturally. It's not about benching now. It's not. I mean, you're going to naturally see young players, I think, be part of this.
Right. We saw Neville Gallimore make a play there.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is they're naturally they don't have enough bodies. They just don't have enough bodies to be able to fill it out. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of young guys play regardless.
Taking a quarterback if you get that high in the draft.
Well, the thing I worry about, Ari, and I think everybody out there in Cowboy Nation needs to worry about is that the inability to sign Dak Prescott. It appears that Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones are trying to keep every bit of salary cap flexibility they can to make sure that they have something done. They're going to have to franchise tag him, obviously. They talk about wanting to sign him, but if you're Dak Prescott, do you want to be part of rebuilding? Or, in a way, I mean, yeah, you're going to get your offensive line back, but there's so much you have to do here in order. He might just say, okay, fine, tag me. I'm not going to sign long term. I'll hit the mother load the following year in 2021 or 2022.
Are you under the impression that this team can rebuild?
I think the word rebuild is really hard for Jerry Jones because of his age.
That's why I asked it.
Because of his age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing Jerry.
Yeah. Stephen Jones, a lot of people in the organization, they can withstand a rebuild. Jerry Jones doesn't. I mean, and folks, again, I'm not trying to be morbid here. I'm just telling you, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, but Jerry Jones knows that. That's why he was so adamant about opening up the roof and the stadium and doors and playing football, Yeah, we could do this. We could do it safely. Right now he's probably wished the pandemic would hit and cancel the season. I say that in tongue in cheek though.
But in all seriousness, I mean, how much power does Jerry still have to be able to say, I mean, we talk about a rebuild here again.
It's a rebuild now because you've got the offensive line. That's part of it. You have Elliott that will be part of this because of the contract. You have wide receivers, that will be part of it. Do you have your quarterback long term? That's the big question right now. This defense needs help. They need help at tackle. They need help at end. They probably need some help at linebacker. They could use help at safety, at corner. So, yeah, if you're going to get a bunch of high picks, first, second, third, fourth rounds, and then you got your compensatories, by all means, do everything. Now, you have to have confidence in Will McClay, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones to pull this thing off. They've done it before with a good draft in 2016. Let's see if fact that they can pull one off for this one.
And look, the top 3 picks, there's a long time before the NFL draft in April, but the top 3 picks right now are 3 offensive players. Yeah, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Penei Sewell, the left tackle from Oregon.
Right.
You got to take one of those 3 if you're in the top 3.
If you told me you were going to draft Sewell from Oregon, who is not playing, by the way, he opted out, so you won't see him at Oregon. But if you're telling me he's going to play, he's going to have to play guard, because what's going to happen is I'm not going to draft him and have him sit behind Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins.
With Brian Broaddus, I'm Ari Temkin. We will hear a very short Leighton Vander Esch. He was short with the media. Zeke Elliott plus Amari Cooper all on the way. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
I am.
All right, so while they go to commercial break, I don't know what the backstory is right now with Mark Holmes and E2 Blue. I just know that somebody got to fisticuffs, whether it be argumentative or whether it be, I don't know, fabricated or whatever it is, just push them out and push out their information and tell them all is well from me, Law Nation. If so, if you guys are on their page, I hope all is well. As long as, like, fellas fighting, that's natural. I grew up with 3 brothers. We fought every single day. As long as there's no ladies involved, they can fight all day. As long as nobody hurt. I'm not condoning violence, but violence is violence, and it's a bunch of guys. So if you have a bunch of guys together and they drinking and they eating, of course, somebody going to throw some hands or somebody going to talk about something. And trust me, I got one of the loudest barks out here, especially growing up with my brothers, and they know I'm straight up passion. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight passion. So it is what it is. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Like I said, for those who watching for the first time, my name is Law Nation, LAW Nation. Hit that subscribe button, share this content. But I'll peep out, I'll call Mark and I'll call E2 Blue once the situation is over with. But I hope all is well over there. But man, fight. Newsflash, especially when we losing and everything like this is down. I know for sure that Mark Holmes is in the DMV area, so this loss counts twice almost. It does. And even by the Atlanta Falcons losing today, it's like a double loss to us, because if you want to get that number 1 draft pick, it's one of those things too. Shout out to you, Joshua. It's one of those things too that, organically tank it or not, it's just how it goes. And I can't get this damn crow off the screen because we're losing. I'm tired of seeing that crow. But I'm the type of guy that I want to win every situation, every chance I can, right? Let's see what we got here.
Blue True.
Still on commercial break. Let me read some of your comments, man. I really appreciate those that's watching here on the Law Nation page. Cowboys fan 91 says Mark and E2 broke up. That's just how it goes, man. When you work together, you're going to have upsets, you're going to have fights, you're going to have battles, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. As long as nobody pull out that heat action, we okay, right? Shout out to you, Natasha. And I know Natasha, she said true, but I know Natasha wasn't over there. If the ladies was over there, then we really have a problem, right? Signed Johnny Manziel, this from Boxing 97. Good old Johnny. Here's Johnny. E2 insulted Mark's son is from Jeff Curtis. Wow, they're going to have to iron that out, man. They're going to have to iron that one out, especially, that's my son. That's how you fight for your son. You fight for your kids, I can only imagine getting old enough to have my kids into the stream. I can only imagine if we had somebody else and somebody say something ill of my child, especially in a situation like that, daddy got to be daddy, right? That's just how it goes. So hopefully I'm not picking sides. So I'm going to have to look into it. And I'll probably say thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session. We look into courses. Law Nation for Coach. No. They wouldn't like me. They look. They wouldn't like me because I'm gonna bring all of the heat action. I'm gonna do all of the talking. I'm gonna talk bad about them, about their technique. I'm gonna talk bad about it. It's gonna be on TV. It's not gonna be pom pom and cheerleading. It's gonna be some spitting going on. They're gonna get COVID and everything because they're gonna be like, "Look, dog, this dude spitting on me, man." Not saying that I got COVID, not making a joke out of it for those who love PC conversations. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? This team needs somebody to put their foot sideways on some people because I'm going to pull up some film. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. And it's nothing to do with the scheme or the schematic.
Breakfast talk.
And if I'm the coach, I would count it as being disrespectful, talking about my stuff, talking about my scheme, talking about my schematics, anyway. It's kind of like somebody cooking a feast and they saying, okay, yeah, we eating the food, but we don't like because he put too much paprika on it. You know what I'm saying? But not saying it to my face. They saying it elsewhere. I'm like, okay. We ain't finna look. They like when the next day of opening practice, like Tuesday, it won't be a football in sight. Hey, they be like, Coach Law, what's going on? Where the football's at? Nah, we ain't playing no football today because that's what y'all not showing. We running, we bounding. We gonna make sure that y'all gonna be. If you're gonna lose, we're gonna be the most in shape team to lose. We gonna be running. Bleachers around the track. We're gonna go to the nearest track practice or the nearest track field, and we're gonna run. We're gonna run suicides all day. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott, no. We running. I'm gonna be playing a song in the background, old school song. Who running? That's what I'm gonna be playing in the background. That's what I'm gonna be playing. We're gonna be running. We're gonna be the most in shape team to lose. And then coach, general manager, whoever, they come out there, well, the general manager, Jerry Jones, said, why is the football not being thrown in the air? Because we don't play through the echoes of the whistle. We're not giving it 100%. We're giving it 25% some plays. We're giving it 45% some plays. But damn it, I'm going to make sure that everybody, all 53 people, including the practice squad, you can say 63, we running. Who running? We running. Yeah.
Thank you to Palmer from Palmer's Nashville Hot for bringing us.
Let me know if I'm lying. If they're gonna run, the coach. Why the kicker running? He don't have to. He's running. Why the punt running? He's running. Why the water boy running? He or she running. They running. We gonna be some athletes out here.
While you're doing it, though, I tell you, I enjoy that. Great food, though. Thanks to the folks over there for always taking care of us.
Post-game show brought to you by Geico. Great news. There's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com.
Geico is not my sponsor yet, so I'm going to let him pause it right quick. Well, we going to be running, baby. Hey, what's the difference in the record going to be anyway? We only won 2 games.
Listen came into this game after Andy Dalton went down with a concussion.
We running.
That is official. It was a concussion for Dalton, according to the Cowboys. He was 9 of 19 for 75 and an interception, 3.9 per attempt. Again, just tough to expect a backup quarterback, even if it is Andy Dalton with all the starting experience, to be able to do much against a defensive front as talented and good and aggressive as Washington with an offensive line like this.
Yes, and the offensive line, the struggles that they have, I expect Biotish to get better. I expect Connor McGovern to get better. True. But I don't expect Connor Williams. I think Connor Williams is kind of who Connor Williams is.
Right.
At times, okay. Other times,
average to below average.
Yeah. Other times, not as good as he needs to be. You could hide him when you have other.
Did the Cowboys make a mistake by not making him a tackle?
I'm glad they tried him at guard because when David Hellman and I went to the workout in Austin, and they worked him out as a center, they worked him out as a guard, and they worked him out as a tackle. And you can evaluate him as a tackle. But, I think that was, if you talk to scouts around the league, they'll tell you that he should have been a tackle all along. And but they were trying, they've already got an all-pro tackle, a couple of them. Well, right. I should say Pro Bowl tackles. And, that's kind of, but I expect
but he can be a tackle.
If they allow through this stretch, and Zach Martin is, going to come back and play, but true. I would go ahead and put Connor McGovern at left guard, And then, then try and work Connor Williams at one of the tackle spots.
Amen.
If you want to work him at the right tackle.
Right. This now is the time to see what you have.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. This is, and you try and figure out, and, Sanad is another one they need to look at that offensive tackle spot. That's a big, thick-bodied guy. We'll see what happens with Knight, and they'll tell you that Knight's a better guard. But I feel like that the two young guys, they just need to keep playing those guys. Just keep playing. No offense to Joe Looney either, but Joe Looney's not, I don't believe, part of your plans going forward. Use him as a swing guy, swing guard, whatever you need there. But let these young guys continue to play.
877-881-1053. You can call or text that number to get on the postgame show, 877-881-1053. Let's talk to Albert in Philadelphia. Go ahead, Albert. You're on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
Albert Einstein.
Talking Cowboys. I'm everywhere. I'm almost in tears about this. Nothing. I really care about this star. Brian, I'm sorry to disagree with you. Connor Williams, he is not a good player, but when he was drafted, he's supposed to have a mean streak. And also, when I see a team coming to the game, not just in anything they wear Cowboy suits. Have some pride in the organization. Have some pride. It's our 63rd anniversary. Have some pride in the star. And Brad Sham, I love you. Tony Dorsett and Bud Jettipree didn't play Oakland Raiders in his rookie year. Love you guys. Bye.
Wow. That is a very upset Cowboys fan in Philadelphia. Deep cut there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Also, I think you said Connor Williams was average to below average.
Yeah.
Which I'd say over the course of his NFL career, he's probably graded out that way.
Yeah. He has. And that's, but that's okay. Fans are going to be upset. There's nothing we can do to make you feel any better. I just can't. I'm not Dr. Phil. Well, if I was working in the front office, and there's probably a lot of people say, I'm glad you're not working in the front office. But then this is where you sit down and you have those honest conversations with Jerry and Steven. And I think Mike McCarthy will. I think Mike McCarthy's fed up with the situation with the turnovers. I think he's fed up with a lot of things. I like the way he's like, listen, but he needs to have a conversation with the Joneses and kind of figure some things out. And if they have to make some changes, to make some changes. But on this radio show, we're not Dr. Phil's here. If you want to come on and talk about it, that's fine. We'll visit with you all day about that.
It's also pretty obvious to figure out why they're 2-5.
Yeah,
like this isn't rocket science here.
It's not about wearing the clothes and stuff like that. These guys they have pride. They're just not good enough. Nobody wants to get embarrassed. Right, nobody wants to make a bad call into a radio show and get embarrassed. That happens too.
Let's hear Mike McCarthy after this one was asked about, do we need to see changes, meant personnel and coaching staff? What did Mike McCarthy say to that?
I mean, we've had so much change just in our everyday function. So I think the important thing is to stay the course. We understand the method and the things we need to do better. So this is a process, and obviously we're not exactly where we want to be today, but we've been challenged with a lot of moving parts, as far as a lot of different players playing. So we'll continue to work, and I do believe we will turn this in the right direction.
This is a process. We've heard that before, but certainly I think that aside, Brian, I mean, it's a pretty obvious statement there. If you are thinking that if you're looking for changes now, if you're looking for Mike Nolan to be fired now, I think you're barking up the wrong tree. Well,
if you fire Mike Nolan now, then you go back to potentially the 4-3 defense, just play, and you go with George Edwards as your defensive coordinator.
Right.
If that's what you want to do.
That's what we want to do.
But you also have a guy with a long-standing relationship, Mike McCarthy, with Mike Nolan. You think you give him the year. Firing is more, to me, I'm thinking about demotion. Let me see if I can find that gift. I'm thinking if you want to say, okay, we're going to move on from Mike Nolan calling, but then you'll get Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones will come on and call us all a bunch of idiots for even asking the question, which is not the right way to go either. Right. It's your job to evaluate if your players are making mistakes. Is it the coaches? Is it the players? I'd like to believe that it's probably a combination of both. But if you wanted just to play a straight 4-3 defense like they used to in the past, you could go. George Edwards could do that for you. Let's hear what Leighton Vander Esch had to say after this one. Cowboys lose 25-3. Leighton Vander Esch, though, was the leading tackler on defense, 12 tackles in this one for the second-year pro.
What has been the biggest communication breakdown for you guys? Why you guys have been struggling on that side of the ball? I don't think it's a communication issue. I think we've been communicating well. I think everybody just needs to do their job on every single play. I think it comes down to that. Just focusing in, relaxing, and doing your job every play.
Does everybody understand or have an understanding of this scheme? Is that the issue? Is that part of the issue?
Got nothing to do with scheme.
Nothing to do with scheme. There you go.
Oof.
There you go.
Short and sweet from Leighton Vander Esch. Everybody just has to do their job. I mean, that sort of speaks to the idea of a guy that's frustrated with teammates not filling running lanes, right? Just very basic things that he's looking and watching and his team is not doing. Fundamental flaws.
Yeah, I think Leighton Vander Esch is frustrated. Here he is. He comes back, the Monday night game. Everybody was amazed. He misses 4 games.
Yep.
And he has surgery, comes back, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make a difference here. I think Leighton Vander Esch last week, they monitored her snaps.
Appreciate the donation,
but this week, he looked like to me he had a full boat
Cowboys
of snaps. I think he's very frustrated to the fact that they're just not playing well defensively. They're not, and he knows it. He goes, hey, when you say it's not the scheme, now you're talking about the players. Now you're talking about lining up and just physically getting after it. And I think that's where Leighton Vander Esch has his biggest frustration right now.
And this, to me, goes to the idea of firing Mike Nolan. It's obvious when you're watching, and we've even heard the coaches say they've dumbed down the defense as much as possible. This is not a scheme issue.
Mike even talked about, though, that it's even brought up high school coverages and stuff like that. Mike took a swing at the players the other day, the way he described it. When he said, "Hey, there's basic high school coverages here and stuff like that." So, kind of take it for what it is. It's a team that's just not very talented. It's if you want to say it's not well prepared, I'll say you're probably right in some ways, but that's on the players though too. But it's also in the front office. If the players aren't good enough, then they're not good enough. That's on the front office trying to help the coaches.
Is this one of those things where Mike McCarthy looks at this team and says, "I want my guys in here," and that's why I look at this and think I imagine there's gonna be a lot of new faces and names in this.
Oh yeah, there will be
for that exact reason.
Yeah, exactly. This is where if you do have that year where it's 3-13 or 4-12, then you then say, okay, I'm glad that's over. Then everybody that they call green trash bag Monday, trash bag when they put all their stuff in and leave. Mm-hmm. If you're walking out of that locker room, you're probably thinking, I'm not coming back, because if like I say, if it's 3-13, 4-12, now the evaluations start. We're going to evaluate, and you know what? Mike McCarthy needs to evaluate the coaches as well. Yeah. If he sees any coaches that are, slacking off, not getting part of their game plans in, door closed, on the phone, trying to find another job. I've been a part of those before, where it's not looking good and you're thinking like, man, we're going to get whacked here. Better get on the phone, get a job, see what's going on around the league. Yeah. He detects any of that. He needs to move on there quickly from that as well.
Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin, this is the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Cowboys lose 25-3 to the Washington football team. If you were one of the people, and there was certainly a decent amount that I had heard from that thought, this team wouldn't take too much of a step back to go from Dak Prescott to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton can win games for you. Obviously, it's a different offensive line we're talking about here, but the Cowboys, in 8 quarters since Dak Prescott suffered the injury, have scored a total of 13 points last 2 games against the Cardinals, 10, and now 3 against this Washington football team. Yeah. This was a prolific offense. Look, this is still a worse offensive line than Dak Prescott played behind when healthy, but it wasn't like he was playing against, with Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins.
No.
Those guys were hurt when he was playing too.
Yeah, he was having to play with Brandon Knight and also Steele, at tackle. But yeah, that's where you're at right now.
How much does this show Dak's value?
Oh, I think it. That's a question you already know the answer to. That's Perry Mason. Have you ever seen that show, Perry Mason, the lawyer?
Yeah.
Perry Mason never asked a question you didn't already know the answer to, and you know the answer there. But is it enough? Is it enough for with all the things that are going on with this team? Is the most important thing signing Dak Prescott? That's where you have to worry now. Are the Joneses saying we could take $40 million and redo something else? If you have a top 5 pick and you're able to pick a quarterback, is $40 million on a quarterback at this point in time necessarily the best thing to do if you've got other things you need to take care of?
Yeah, I would think if the Cowboys found themselves in the top 5 of the draft, which at this point looks like it very well could happen, because it's hard to believe that this team can win another game this season.
Kind of hoping Atlanta was going to get that win.
Right.
Right.
It's hard to think that they wouldn't evaluate putting the franchise tag on Dak and then trading him.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to have thought of before the season started.
It is, but you're also in that mode, and people out there listening to us right now say, well, they wouldn't put it past this front office to do that. The fact of the matter that you didn't get him signed 2 years ago, that's disturbing.
Right.
That is very disturbing. And maybe recently you could blame the Cowboys front office for 2 years, but maybe this year wasn't more about the front office. Maybe it was more about Dak's agent. Maybe it was really about, hey, I'm not interested in getting a deal done right now.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes two sides to get a deal done, and we know it's well documented. Dak wanted a shorter-term deal so he can cash in again when the revenue skyrockets for the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
Cowboys wanted him to be cheap again, on a 5-year deal, which would have extended into that new TV money, which is going to make the salary cap potentially double over the next 5, 6, 7 years. Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin, the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Cowboys lose to Washington 25-3. Taking your phone calls at 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
All right, so while they go to commercial break, we've been over this thing with Dak Prescott contract and this conversation and these sorts of things. The Cowboys should have did it 2 years ago. It would have been $23-24 million a year, and we wouldn't even be talking about this. They could have allocated some money, and we saw how they made some shifts and movements and taking Zach Martin money here and slide it this way, and they could have been did that, right? You're talking to a guy that deals with finance, so I know for sure that people going to be looking at it like, well, they didn't, da-da-da-da-da. No. We see that by the Cowboys making the decisions that they're making, we digged a hole and we fell in it. Regardless, now, Dak Prescott camp, one can argue and say, well, his camp should have go ahead and signed a 5-year contract or what have you. Well, there's water on the bridge. It's over with now. He betted on himself twice, and he lost the bet. And the same guy that I posted right here, he went on his show, and that guy Shay Sharp, he was talking about the same thing, that hey, he betted on himself when he was with the Denver Broncos, and he broke his collarbone or something like that, and he couldn't play for the remainder of the year. End up being a free agent and going to the Ravens, what have you. Hey, he ended up winning another Super Bowl, for crying out loud. So it can flat out happen for the player, but for the team aspect of it, when your team puts you on a franchise tag, it don't end well, especially as it relates to quarterbacks. That's supposed to be your end all be all. Your I guess your aura, what have you. Did Randy Gregory play in this game? This is from brother Spock. He played in some plays. I think he got around the edge. He got washed out on a few plays. They brought him down on third downs or what have you. It really wasn't that much of a difference because of the way and the time they brought him in. So when the All-22 come out and we get a chance to see the entire film sessions of Randy get down Gregory, I can make assessment from there. But before he came onto the scene, they actually started Alden Smith and as well as Everson Griffin. And both of those guys, Cowboy Nation, newsflash, they play at the right side or they play on primarily at that position where Randy Gregory plays at. So now you're talking about a guy with he probably had 7 snaps or more, a little bit more, but no more than 10 or 15 if I'm a betting man. Jerry Jones ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I don't think that Jerry Jones, I know we can say, well, what if he croaks tomorrow? This dude might outlive us all. He might have that vampire blood. Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. It's just what it is. And I don't think that he's going anywhere anytime soon. Ain't it right, Jerry? He's going to outlive us all. Washington for Dak makes sense. I know a lot of teams actually like Dak Prescott, the opposing teams. They look at Dak Prescott as a guy that can be a great Band-Aid for their situation, especially like the Colts, maybe the Jaguars, maybe the Washington team like we just mentioned. So Thank you, Cowboys. Won $80. Oh wow. Well, I'm telling you, one of the bigger things that I pulled from the interview earlier, they talked about Mike McCarthy. He said, okay, we're going to turn it around. I know we want to be positive about the situation, but I want to ask him, how? How are you going to turn this thing around? Our offense is not moving the ball down the field. Our offensive line is shambles. It's just in shambles, right? And we got wide receivers that in the pivotal moments, they're dropping the ball. Even my dog, CeeDee Lamb, he's playing basketball with the football now. So you got shattered confidence. You got a no offensive line, no continuity with the quarterback. It's just bad right now. It's crazy. It is what it is. Jerry Jones, Cowboys' worst nightmare. Since, and I'm going to say this again, since Jimmy Johnson left, what have we been doing? Let me know. And I know people going to say, well, he's not the end all be all. There's some few people that out there that think that too, by the way. There's some few people out there that think that he's not the end all be all. It just baffles me. This team been lost since then. You know, sometimes you fall off in life, but not this bad. Not a 25-year fall off. And one can argue it's been 26, 27-year fall off since he's been gone, you know. So it's crazy, Cowboy Nation. Jerry Jones for 2024. We don't have enough good players. This is from David C. Well, how can I put this? We have too much political situation going on. There's a lot of political players out there. Jalen Smith have no reason being out there in coverage. I love the kid. I like his story. Like I said, Stephen Wonder is blind, and we know he had a set of limitations, but no matter how well he's seen, he can never see. He would never be able to see. Jalen Smith, he's good. He's great out there on the field, especially as it relates to like the storyline and his business prowess. Everything is good, but he can't cover. Let's just be real. I can line up any high schooler right now, and he's not going to shut him down. He's not going to shut down middle schoolers. Oh my goodness. But the story is great. His storyline is great.
Defense did well. They also were averaging 2 turnovers a game. Broadus got less than 2 in this one. It's good news. The sun will rise tomorrow. That's good news.
We think.
That's good news.
No, it will.
See the sun tomorrow. That's good news.
We'll see it tomorrow, yeah.
Brian Broadus, Ari Temkin, Dallas Cowboys postgame show, 877-881-1053. Any other good news that I'm missing here?
Well, you know, with Andy Dalton, that situation looked
very bad.
Very bad. And concussions are not good because that's going to be problems for him for the next few days for sure. But the way that hit, the way his head hit, the way his helmet came off, you know, the fact that that they're able to just evaluate it as a concussion and really not much more at this point, I think that's positive. That was a vicious hit, and just hope that, you know, Andy, that they can get him home with the team on the plane, and then you know, that he can rest this evening and the next couple of days and kind of get himself back together.
Yeah, that did not look good. It was scary.
It really did.
Scary.
It was scary when he hit and he was laying there. I was, all kinds of bad things were going through my head.
You could see the way his head moved back.
It hit the turf and all that.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Let's talk to Mar in Dallas. Go ahead, Mar. You're on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
All right. First of all, I'd like to say it's great to be here. Brian, you're always good with the analytics and your voices, man. I love your point of view. The question that I have is the elephant in the room regarding Jerry Jones as general manager.
Sure.
And the reason why I'm asking this question is because for the last 10 years up under Jason Garrett, we've always gotten away with having either mediocre players with good coaches. So therefore, the next year we'll have that hope like, well, maybe next year will be better. We just have to get good players. Then we'll have good players but maybe bad coaches.
Sure.
This year, I think everything is coming to the head to where we have a little bit of both. Some bad coaching with some bad players to where the players that we have are being overexposed without the leadership of Marinelli and other coaches like that. So does this fall back onto Jerry Jones' refusal to relent his position as general manager to see those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry needs to take, you know, the finger will point at Jerry Jones. The finger will point at Stephen Jones. The finger will point at Will McClay. The finger will point at Mike McCarthy. You know, when you're, you know, that is your leadership group. That is the team that, and again, they're trying to, put things together. Man, we were all talking about how great this draft was, and so, with Mike McCarthy, that's his, him coming on board, in January, and then, being a part of the draft. The pandemic made it crazy as far as meeting, getting really, but overall, you kind of felt like the Cowboys did a good thing drafting wise. But with Jerry, guys, we know this though. He's not going to relent. He is not going to.
But I don't. And look,
let me just, if I could finish, sorry. I'm just trying to tell you that, we keep beating our heads against the wall about this.
It's a fool's errand.
You've got to hope that Mike, and trust me, my days of knowing how the Green Bay Packers work, Mike McCarthy did not have much of a say what was going on with personnel there. This is his first opportunity to really have a swing at the bat, because Green Bay with Ted Thompson, they put the scouts, the front office, they picked the players. Mike coached the players, had really a lot of success doing that. But with Jerry Jones, we keep saying this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. Yeah, it is the problem. But I've also said this before. There are general managers who are football guys that have made mistakes in this league, big mistakes too.
Not for 25
Tom Dimitroff
years,
is a dear friend of mine in Atlanta. I think Tommy D's a football guy. He's won Super Bowls with Bill Belichick and those guys in New England. Should have had a Super Bowl on his own. Football guy gets fired. You could say, oh, well, Jerry should have been fired 25 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago. That part of it's not going to change. So what you have to hope is that McCarthy, Will McClay, working with Stephen Jones, working with Jerry Jones, can kind of figure this thing out. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's never going to get figured out.
I just don't put that much of this on the front office from a standpoint of, what were they supposed to do? Have 7 great offensive linemen?
Well, no, I'm just trying to explain, and I'm not trying to defend Jerry and Steven.
Right, you're
because,
just saying complaining about it is a fool's errand.
Because it's I always say low-hanging fruit, because we can all complain about that.
But, they missed on defense.
They did.
That's their biggest issue with this season.
Absolutely. They missed on evaluation of defensive linemen. They missed on the defensive linemen they've added. And
then the approach of not really putting much in terms of the safety position,
the secondary play,
and they've missed. Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown, Cheeto Awuzie. These are the guys they've drafted.
Right.
Put draft capital in to become the veteran core of their defensive backfield, and they've missed on those guys. I said this before the season started. I thought this team could win a Super Bowl if their defense was average. So what happened? They lost every member of their offensive line to their starting quarterback. Right. So how is that on Jerry? What are they supposed to have? A great backup? They had the best backup quarterback they can get, and they have no backup lineman. Nobody does. 5 good starting offensive linemen, let alone 7 or 8.
But we're looking for answers, Ari. We're looking for answers. And
they missed on defense. We know.
They missed on defense. They clearly missed on defense. They might have missed on these coaches.
They might have missed on these coaches.
They might have missed on these coaches. Now, we'll see. They might have missed on these coaches. But I feel like, though, folks, we know the general manager is not going to change. We know that.
Right.
So, and as you're trying to evaluate, if that's what you want to say is the final straw for you, that the general manager won't change.
Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan, so that's a wise move. That's all I'm saying. He owns it. It's the official Cowboys station. So that's just all I'm going to have to say on that. So he gets by for 25 years?
Of offense. They lost most of their – they lost 2 all-pro level tackles at the beginning of the year, and we're still putting up 30 points a game. So, once they continue to lose offensive linemen and then they lost their starting quarterback – with a bad defense, that's where we are. But to call in, look, there's years where you should complain about Jerry. I don't think that this is much on Jerry in the front office. They missed on defense. But I remember talking during the offseason, people were like, oh, this defense will be average. It's like, are you sure? Because they were kind of bad last year. They lost their best corner. So
as a scoring defense, they were really good last year. Top 12 scoring defense. But because they were so vanilla, people were like, they got to do something different. They can't just continually play one defense, as Mike McCarthy would say, one call defense. Yeah, it's it's something that you can continually bang your head against the wall and talk about the general manager, but honestly, that's the low-hanging fruit. That part of it's not going to change for you, folks. I'm sorry.
877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. Let's talk with AJ in San Diego. Go ahead, AJ. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Put my pigs and wherever.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for letting me on this call. I disagree with the last caller as well. I agree with Brian. Jerry's not down on the field trying to tackle people. He's not over there trying to block somebody. You can't just go back to the low-hanging fruit. What did concern me was the way that Washington was exploiting Jalen Smith, especially every motion that running back out.
Yeah.
I think I heard it on the call with Moose. The guy's like, he runs a 4-3, and we know that Jalen doesn't have the greatest change of direction.
Right.
It was disheartening to see those isolation matchups. One positive I will bring to the table is there was a really nice kickoff return by Tony Pollard.
There you go.
Yes, that was a great positive. Thank you.
It really was, but that unfortunately that was about it.
Yeah, no, that's the call. But I will say this: Jerry puts together this team, and if you're talking about the Jalen Smiths and guys like that missing tackles and stuff,
right? That's what they've missed.
That's what
no
they've missed.
Question they've missed on defense.
If you're saying that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Will McClay missed, on defense, like we were talking about, the guys are missing tackles and stuff. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But that's what we need to focus on right there. Maybe if it happens enough, but there's a lot of people that believe it's happened way too much already.
Let me bring him down a little bit. So Jerry, so the argument is that Jerry is not the responsibility. It's not him. He's not going out to make the tackles. He's not going out there making the plays. Newsflash, he's the one that's supposed to be evaluating the talent. As a general manager, he's the person that goes out there and ultimately make the decision of paying the guy that's supposed to make said tackle. He's the reason why he's enabling the coaching staff not being able to call this game fairly and say, hey, let's bench this guy. Let's put in somebody else that can make plays in coverage. It's simple. Jerry Jones is still the problem regardless of how you move it around. He's the one that's paying the guys that's out there on the field. God dog, people don't get that. They don't understand that. Jerry Jones actually evaluate the players, right? He's the one that goes out there and say, okay, hey, I like this guy. I like number 54. Oh, I'm going to reach into my pocket. I'm going to pay number 54 to be out there. The coaches are at the mercy seat of Jerry Jones because they got to listen to the general manager. I had to get that out because I can't lie to kick it to you guys. They can't be saying that, well, Jerry is not the fault. Yes, he is. He's the problem.
Get this thing together, get this thing back going, or not back going, but get this thing going.
What's the conversation in the locker room like after a loss like that to Washington?
We gotta stick together. During these times, we gotta stick together. We gotta have each other's back. We just gotta be better. We gotta go out there.
Nick, have you ever been this frustrated before?
Nick, what did Mike McCarthy tell y'all after the game? I know he said, or on the broadcast, they said at halftime he mentioned, don't say woe is me and that we've been here before. We all just need to turn it.
That's the only way we're gonna be able to come out of this slump is by sticking together and sticking by our brother and supporting our brother.
There's Zeke Elliott. Little testy there.
Yeah, he doesn't have answers either.
Right.
And he talks about protecting the quarterback. He got run over on a blitz pickup too. So, he's looking. I mean, this is a situation where, it's everybody's wants answers. Even the players don't have answers. We're here doing this post-game show, and our answers when you look at run, block, tackling, protect, you look at all the things that you have to do in order to have success. They're not good enough at it. They're just really not good enough at it. Scheme, whatever. The bottom line is it's a pretty simple game. It's a physical game that you have to play. And the Cowboys aren't doing it well enough right now. They physically got beat up today. They got attacked on the blitz or on the pass rush. They weren't able to withstand that. We talked about that going in. So, yeah, the players are very frustrated because they don't have answers.
It's 7 games of this.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, we shouldn't be surprised.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The questions keep coming, but don't you know the answer?
Right.
Don't you? I mean, don't you really? When you watch this team play, I wasn't watching this team, and I wasn't even getting mad. I wasn't getting mad at it because I knew. I knew it was going to be difficult. I mean, in my heart, I knew, okay, this team that they're playing is not that bad, but this team can rush the passer, and they can't protect. I don't have questions. I really don't. I'm looking now for solutions of, okay, who is going to be here in 2021? Even with all these games left, I'm about now trying to evaluate because I'm down to my third quarterback now. And I don't even know if I'm going to get a good evaluation of that, but I'm going to try and figure it out.
What's worse in this one, the 6 sacks given up by the Dallas Cowboys offense or the prolific numbers that Kyle Allen posted against their defense? We'll answer that question, plus take your phone calls here for Ben DiNucci, Amari Cooper, and Everson Griffin.
Yeah, man, I had to get mad on that one because here's the situation, and I love the station. I'm not mad at them per se, but I'm mad at the way this thing is orchestrated. Let me get this pig. Get out the way, pig. I can't stand that damn pig. I'm just so frustrated because if anybody do bad at their job, if anybody do bad at their assessments, if anybody do bad in their particular situation, especially as the general manager, they would have been fired. People, yes, general managers bad. There's a trough of bad general managers throughout the NFL, but none of them is given 25 years. And then you can't give Will McClay and say, well, he's the general manager, give the man the job but without the title. You can't do that because, let's be real, he's not going to go in there and say, hey, Jerry, I think that Jalen Smith can't play because he can't cover. No, they're going to circumvent it because that's Jerry Jones' boy. They're in business together, and I think that's a conflict of interest, by the way. And they just give him multiple chances. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Smith is ultimately trash or anything like that because I think that he can still play, but not at the level that we want him to play at. So the coaches are at mercy of Jerry Jones because of that initial factor right there. Let me know if I'm lying. Coaches are at mercy because they really can't look at this particular staff and say, okay, let me move this guy out of the way. Let me move that out of the way. The only way this thing can change if you bring in a coach that says 2 tiers in the bucket, I got 3 years or I got 2 years or I got 1 year, and I'm going to coach it my way regardless. I don't care what the general manager says. I'm not finna go down like this. F you, F you, F you. I'm finna do it my way. You finna hit the bench, Ezekiel Elliott. I know that the general manager love you, the owner, and everybody else, but you making $90 million. The ball, yes, is behind you, but the ball hit your hands. You fumbled last game. You fumbled last game before that, and I've just got to get you on this bench action for one time. Let me get the young phenom, Tony Pollard. Don't you guys know and understand that we won't have 3 points if it wasn't for Tony Pollard kickoff return? This was a 25-0 game. And we supposed to take this as fans? Come on now. Come on. We don't supposed to take this 25-0 against the Washington no-name team with the same bevy of excuses we got. They don't got their starting quarterback out there. Newsflash, they got offensive linemen that's hurt. Oh, it's a COVID for them too. COVID just don't exist in Dallas. Let me know if I'm lying. COVID only exists in Dallas? Dallas is the only team with issues and injuries. We the only team that can't fix things like come on, let's be real. We the only team with a new head coach. Ain't the argument is reversed on the opposite side of the situation because Tom Sula used to be a head coach? Then let me know if I'm lying. Mike Nolan, didn't he used to be a head coach somewhere? Let's talk football. Let's be real about it. Let's be real. We can talk all of the fake and phony stuff. We can be fake 99 all the day. But the reality of it is that this guy that's pointing the finger, the issue, he got 3 pointed back at him. That's the person. That is the issue with this team, collectively speaking. The coaches are not empowered, and I don't care what he says. And yes, we can walk right into this thing and say, yeah, Kellen Moore, we the number 1 offense. It's the exact same offense from the Scott Linehan's administration. Vertical threat offense, which we don't never see no quick outs. We never see no quick reads by the quarterback, regardless of the situation. That is not West Coast offense. This is Kellen Moore offense. It just baffles me how this team is just going back and forth with, oh, it's not Jerry. We love him. They want to go to the media. I'm not talking about those two this right now, but I'm talking about collectively speaking. Oh, we want to go to F that media party. I don't care about none of that media party. That's why I'm glad I don't work for the media. I would never work for the media, by the way. But I'm just glad I don't work for them. Because I don't want to be kicking it with somebody who's not real, saying that they care about this team and we like our guys. We ain't going out there making moves happening. When I turn on the TV, I turn the knob on, and I see in Seattle picking up the phone and say, hey, AB, what's good? Although we're really thinking about you. Oh, we ain't going to get you. But, oh, Snacks, come on down. You want a car, right? Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs team. Oh, Le'Veon Bell. Hey, Bell, what's good, man? Hey, I know you had some mishaps in Jetsland, but come on over here. Oh, in Tampa Bay, they ain't had nothing started off the season. Gronkowski, what's up, man? What's good? Hey, we got your boy. Hey, you want to come back and play some football for us? Oh, Leonard Fournette. Hey, I got a cup of coffee for you. I know you can at least win us one game, which he did. All we asking for is one game. Oh, AB, that's okay. You can fart all in the doctor's faces, but come on down, man. We love you, man. We know that we can, in a pinch, if I need a play out of you, I can call you up for some services. It's just a cup of coffee. I can always write out a contract to make it fit. Contracts can always be adjusted and modified. But this team, they sit back and say, oh, we love our guys. We don't want to mess up this. We don't want to mess up that. And then we looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Oh, it's too much money for what's the guy, the big dog, Ron Leary. It's too much coins. But you pay $10 million for a guy with 2 granny hips who can't knock over a paper cup. And you guys can do your research on who I'm talking about. Not even on nobody's stat sheet. Robbing and stealing money from us. But we can't pay the quarterback because we worried about the coins. But we don't know football, though. They know it all over there.
Obviously, you want to practice good and you want it to translate to the field. And it's very disappointing when it doesn't. Because, we put our all into this. This is our craft. This is our livelihood.
Get off the screen, Jerry.
And, it's just disappointing when it doesn't. As far as it being surprising, I would say it's pretty surprising, too, when it doesn't happen because you don't go out there and practice and say and even think that it won't translate. So when it doesn't, it's a bit surprising.
Amari, you were right there when Andy got hurt. What was going through your mind? What did you see on the play? And, he got ejected, but would you consider that a dirty hit?
Man, I would, to be honest, because he was sliding and it was obvious. And that player could have easily avoided doing what he did.
Coach McCarthy mentioned that the rest of your response wasn't necessarily what you would have expected after Andy got hit in terms of no one getting upset with the opposite who had delivered the hit. What do you think is the right way to respond after your teammate goes down?
I don't know.
What are the emotions like after you lose 2 quarterbacks in 14 days?
It's disappointing. Obviously it's a sad thing when your teammates go down and get hurt because, you want to be healthy throughout the duration of the season. And, everybody who's played football has been hurt before, and we all know how emotional it can be. And so, of course, we feel for Andy and Dak.
In that vein, Amari, how much would you say this team misses Dak, both what he does on the field and off the field right now?
Yeah, we miss him a lot. He's a very important part of this team, both as a player with his play on the field and as a leader. With his leadership style on and off the field. So we miss him a lot. But again, it's a part of the game for players to get hurt or injured, and we just have to keep fighting.
So to replaces that leadership that you lose from Dak, who steps up and replaces that?
I think we got a lot of good leaders on the team. The thing about this team is it's not just led by one person. We have we have a lot of good leaders on the team.
All right, there's Amari Cooper. Again, just sort of tough to continue to answer the same questions. This is a bad football team, not a lot of talent, a lot of injuries, turn over the ball too much, bad defense.
We need to ask better ones, though, too. What does it mean? How do you feel? How do you replace Dak? How do you replace Dak?
How do you replace Dak? You don't.
You don't. You don't. And the problem that they run into is that this is where it gets very difficult. This is where you've got a lot of the season left, and you're probably not going to win many games, but you've got to figure out a way to go out and be competitive. And the last couple of times out, the Monday night game and tonight, they haven't been competitive, and that's where you miss Dak Prescott. You're no longer competitive.
No longer competitive.
He was your heart. He was the guy out there. He was wearing it on his sleeve. He was keeping you in games. He's the reason why the defenders were like, man, we're giving up plays here, but we're down 17, and next we're back in this game. He what you miss is that compete, and nobody else has stood up yet in the last two games to make up for that lack of compete.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the pregame show, we talked about, could the Cowboys make a trade before the deadline that might help this team? Where would you go? And you mentioned being sellers, not buyers.
I'm a seller.
Definitely more of a seller after the game than pregame. So let me ask you this. One guy I would think of maybe would be Amari Cooper. Could you get a first-round pick for Amari Cooper today?
I don't think you could, but I mean, it wouldn't keep me from trying. I know, because I'm looking at the contract situation.
Right.
And, if now on our show, I talked about trying to get Michael Gallup, get a one for Michael, but because his contract situation's a little bit better, for somebody to have
Cooper's
to take
isn't bad because
it's not terrible.
On the hook for 20-something next year, but then you can cut him after that.
Yeah. I mean but you're not going to give up a first round pick for a guy you're going to cut, and you could potentially cut in 2 years. I mean, it's you got this year, but I feel like that if you're a team, I look at the Green Bay Packers. I'm not trying to make this about the Packers or anything, but that's a team that could use a defensive end.
Where were you
thinking?
Rusher. Where were you thinking seller? Like when you thought sellers, who were you thinking?
I was thinking the Packers.
I mean, sorry, players for the Cowboys specifically.
Oh, I think that if you look at your you'll listen to anybody. I mean, you really will. You'll listen to whatever. Now you've got guys on IR that you can't trade, of course. I mean, you can't trade Lyle Collins or Smith or any of those guys.
Nor would you want to
right now. But yeah, you're in a situation where it looks like you have a wealth of wide receivers. Now today wasn't a great example of that because you couldn't protect your passer. But up until this time, I think you'd have to be very pleased with the way the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers have played.
Would you trade Gallup?
Oh yeah, we've talked about this before. And if Green Bay was a team, Green Bay's probably going to get between 25 and 32. So it's basically really a second round pick. Because of the way the players will fall, you'll probably have 20, maybe 21 first-round grades right now. So you're looking at a second-round grade, much like you did with Travis Frederick. When San Francisco gave you that pick, you went down to 30, and you were looking at a second-round pick there. But it worked out pretty well for you.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. You can call or text that number. Brought us before the break. I asked you the question, which is worse in this one, the 6 sacks that the Cowboys surrendered to Washington in this game, or the fact that you let Kyle Allen, who's, over the course of his career been a fairly pedestrian quarterback, have a 111 quarterback rating? Which is worse?
I think, to me, you knew you were going to get sacked. You knew you're going to have to deal with that. The thing that's disappointing is that they ran the ball so well that Kyle Allen, once again, it goes back to like Baker Mayfield, Kyle Allen.
Right.
When those
Kyler
guys.
Murray only completed 9 passes.
When those guys don't have to really play in the game and they get victories, then that's the thing I think that's the most disappointing to me, that you couldn't take advantage. Kyle Allen had been turning over the football. He'd struggled, but today he was very comfortable, managed the game very well, and very deserving of the victory they got, because physically up front, they were able to take advantage of the Cowboys' front seven running the football, and they made it easy for him to have to play.
877-881-1053. Christy is calling from Dallas. Go ahead, Christy. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. It's seldom that I disagree with one of you guys, but today I disagree with you both. I think that it was sickening to watch the team stand around, and watch their quarterback get his block knocked off. I have watched my nephews and godsons play football from Pop Warner, and I don't even see 7th and 8th graders that stand around when their quarterback takes a hit like that and something doesn't take place. And it doesn't matter to me that they're kids. I've seen younger kids and they have some type of reaction. When I saw him down on the ground, I don't remember seeing very many Cowboys in that frame.
Yeah, Chrissy.
I got a problem with that.
Okay, you have a problem with that, though, but like to my point, you've got some guys out there that haven't played a whole heck of a lot of NFL football. And I know they play a lot of college football and stuff like that. Those kids are out there. I call them kids. They're out there just right now, shell shocked the way this season's gone and the way things are going for them. So I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to be real honest with you about that. You know, I felt like I said earlier, if Tyron Smith was out there, Lyle Collins was out there, Zach Martin was out there, you're damn right. Every one of those guys would have had a problem with that. But you know what? These guys, it's not that they didn't have a problem with it. They just didn't know any better. That's where I think all this is. And I appreciate your disdain for that. But in all honesty, those kids, their eyes were wide open to what happened to them today, trying to survive what they were dealing with. So, but I understand. I just feel like, though, if those veteran linemen are out there, you would have got your pound of flesh that you wanted.
Here is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, when asked about this specific thing after the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, a hit that caused a disqualification. But, yeah, we speak all the time about playing for one another, protecting one another. So it definitely was probably not the response that you would expect.
When you say not the proper response, is that something you will address with your team in the future?
I've answered the question. We go on to the next question, please.
There you go.
Did you think the hit was
I give
dirty?
a clap for that, Coach.
The player was disqualified from the game, so I think it was clearly. I think we all understand clearly what a hit is categorized.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy, probably not the response you'd expect was the quote. Probably not the response you'd expect was the quote there. 877-881-1053. Let's talk with Cam in Fort Worth. Go ahead, Cam. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, guys. I just kind of want to go back to something that Brian said that I've kind of been saying for a while as well. I think I don't know the exact quote, but I think he said something along the lines of, this is week 7, and we still have questions coming in. Don't you think you should have answers by now?
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly where myself and a lot of the fans are too. And just kind of my opinion on this is I think it's a direct reflection of no sense of accountability anywhere on the team. And I think the evidence of that is, we can talk about injuries on the offensive side of the ball, and that's all fine and well. But on the defensive side of the ball, it's the same mistakes every single week. If we were missing tackles or, getting ankles broke and, getting juked up and down the field, that may be one thing, but we're talking about blown coverages within 10, 15 yards. We don't have a defensive back within arm's distance of a receiver. And it's just to see it over and over again while, Mike Mullen just kind of stands on the sidelines with his hands on his hips. I think it's incredibly frustrating to see as a fan, and I can imagine it's probably pretty frustrating for the players to see it as well.
Hey, Cam. Cam.
Go ahead.
Yeah, bad players, huh? We have bad players. I mean, I'm not trying to shield for Mike Nolan here, and he has a hand in this, but bad players, right?
I agree.
I mean, guys that you're relying on to cover and to tackle, and hey, I mean, even the guy who's one of your best players on defense missed some tackles today. Leighton Vander Esch. I just think the scheme. You can say what you want about the scheme. It's some bad defensive players out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Appreciate the phone call, Cam. 877-881-1053. I mean, talk about holding players accountable.
Yeah.
The problem is
you're holding guys that are accountable that aren't capable.
You hold Stephen Parker accountable, a backup safety who you sign off your practice squad, who people in Norman, Oklahoma don't know who Stephen Parker is?
Sure. Yeah, but that's Jerry and Stephen. That's Will McClay. That's the front office. That's the roster you've assembled.
And look, if you thought going into the season this defense was going to be good, you were probably wrong. I thought this defense had a chance to be average
with the rushers,
their defensive line.
Did you think that with the pass rushers that they signed?
Once Gerald McCoy went down, I definitely didn't think that. Like, I thought it was a question of whether or not they'd be average. I thought there was a chance that maybe they could be above average because that defensive line could be really good with McCoy. Once he went down, though, I definitely thought because of just how compromised I expect them to be in the back end of their defense, that they were going to struggle to be average. And look, I did like the signing of Everson Griffin, and I thought that
the
would
biggest
help.
question I had was why did they sign Alden Smith? Because Alden Smith hadn't played for 5 years, and he's one of your better players. That's kind of what you need to know.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053, and on Twitch at Dallas Fan Cam and 1053thefan.com/fancam. We'll come back, take some of your phone calls, plus hear what Everson Griffin and Ben DiNucci had to say after this one. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Yeah, Daniel, Worley is good. Worley is playing out of position. I think that Worley need to get switched back to safety or what have you. We got him playing in a situation where he got stiff hips, and that's just what the reality of it. I'm not saying that Worley is trash or anything, but I think that Worley would be better at safety. I think that he needs to see things in front of him. He don't have the quickest hips, and nor he's the fastest guy in life. So that's what I stand on Worley, and that's what the tape showed up when he was playing for the previous team, the Raiders, what have you. But right now we can look at this thing and say, if you want to label him trash, you can. But that's just the reality of it. Mark, really appreciate you. Tanner, thank you for tuning in. Eric, who had no fighting, no dog and hustle. Yeah, let me see if they're back.
Never a man.
They're still on commercial break. So Cowboy Nation, it is what it is at this point, man. It's one of those things where as we looking at it, Kawan says, I'm boycotting. I don't know if you can boycott, fam. It's just one of those things where whether we boycott or not, the Jones is still making money. TV revenue dollars is more than whatever we can buy, especially as it relates to I got to say this, especially as it relates to merchandises and ticket sales. TV is where the money at. And most of these contracts are already prepaid. They already paid into advance. So he got his money regardless. So even if everybody that's watching right now, the thousands of people that's watching, if we stop watching, he's still making money. It's hands over fists. He's like a booker. He's going to make money regardless whether we win or lose. And then they can sell it. They can always sell it. They can always sell the aspect of, hey, we got draft picks. We can always sell for the future. And that is what they're doing. That's why the draft picks, having multiple draft picks, is more valuable than trading away draft picks to get a veteran. Because you really can already have, a ceiling for the veteran, but the draft pick is unknown. The draft pick is always sexier. It's always the feeling that, hey, this guy can be the next such and such. So that's why I believe that the Joneses really, really, really don't will and deal their draft picks away. And we can talk about let's build from the draft or through the draft, but they don't have the cojones to do that naturally because they hold on to the players so long. The best time to get rid of Xavier Woods probably was 2 years ago. The best time to not sign your best thing, and let me just be real with you guys, is once Jalen Smith made like the all-pro or pro, what have you, the best time was then to start shopping him and trading him or trying to see what you can get out of him as relates to a trade evaluation situation. Because for a fact that knee will always be that knee or that foot will always be that foot. Call it crazy, but that's business. The best time to not pay Ezekiel Elliott $90 million and say, hey, we want to pay you the money, we want to give you the contract, but you're going to have to sit out. Put the pressure, reverse the pressure back on him. Tony Pollard, you should have been shopping Tony Pollard, just building up Tony Pollard, saying, hey, he can be this, he can be that. But you folded and you gave him the world's largest contract for any running back in Dallas Cowboys history. Because he's your friend. Because you can see the jerseys being sold, right? You can see the TV marketing avenue and revenues and things like that. And I'm not saying that Ezekiel Elliott is trash. I'm not saying that either. But this team, that's still how they will and deal. They don't will and deal. Because they fall in love with the players. There's no love in business, right?
Space law.
There's no love in business. I just wish people can understand that. The moment, I don't care what car you buy, it can be a Ferrari, Jag, Maserati. You know what I'm saying? It can be a Honda. The moment you drive off that lot, the price of that particular car depreciates. Now, cars have a weird, unique way, whereas when it become a classic car, the value increases, right? Or when you add all of those things into it, sometimes it increases. But the reality of it, when you talk about wholesale or what have you, cars or what have you, once you drive off of it, the value drops, depreciate daily, actually, for some strange percentage. Let's see what we have here. Can we get Earl Thomas or Eric Reed right now? It's a moot point. It's a moot point right now because he's going to have to take, 2 or 3 weeks to get acclimated. And the thing is, he's not like a young player. They are older players outside of Eric Reed. I think he's still young. But what happened here is that's when you get those issues arise, right? The soft tissue issues. Now, I would like for them to make that move, but right now it's a little bit too late. It's a little bit too late. They didn't love Dak. It is from VSB. Yeah, they didn't love Dak because the philosophy of paying Dak Prescott all of those riches and wealth, I guess, as far as money-wise. Here's the thing, and I gotta put this out there. Once you are drafted at a certain level, you will always be viewed at that level, unfortunately, outside of Tony Romo. They always view Dak Prescott as a 4th-round draft pick. Not even the first choice out of the 4th round. He was the second choice, dare I say. So they still viewed him as, hey, he got to prove something. But let Dak Prescott be drafted in the first, they would have been paid him. Or let something else would change, and I'm not going to go down that way, they would have been paid him. But the reality of it is that they always viewed him as that 4th-round draft pick, regardless of the situation. Regardless. And the truth is in the
Scraping the bottom of the barrel here to come up with superlatives for this one. But a nice return for Tony Pollard, who's really been looking for one of those all year. Has not been known this year as being great in the kick return game, but this one certainly looked good. Special teams have been bad. Defense has been bad. Offense has been bad. Cowboys are 2-5. They lose to the Washington football team 25-3. Reacting with you at 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. We've talked about everything in this game. Andy Dalton getting knocked out. Ben DiNucci replacing him. Of course, just the continued poor play of this overmatched offensive line against a very, very good defensive front in Washington. I mean, the most obvious battle in this game going in. Strength of Washington on weakness of Cowboys. We talked about it at the beginning of the postgame show or pregame show, and it's just as simple as that. They got beat up front where you expected them to with Washington's defensive front and the Cowboys' offensive line, and Andy Dalton's just not good enough to be able to withstand that over the course of the 3 quarters that he played in this football game.
Yeah, we felt like, though, even before the season started, if you were to kind of handicap in the division, it's like, the football team.
Appreciate you, Sheila Neal. I saw that. You kicked them out of the club real quick.
Them together would be their defense. And, they were a 2-point conversion last week from having a 2-game winning streak already here. I think that's a defense, the front, that you're going to have to deal with for a while. I think Jack Del Rio's got a good understanding of how he wants to attack you with it. And that's where this game was going to hinge. It was going to, can you find a way to protect? Can you create running lanes? And you just got in too many situations where having to throw the football and not having guys get open. And then the pressure from those young defenders was just too much against your young blockers.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Here is Ben DiNucci, who went 2 of 3 in this one for 39 yards and replaced Andy Dalton after he got knocked out of the game.
Yeah, first one was a bad pitch by me. Ball's a little wet. Not going to stand up here and make excuses. But, yeah, first one pitch was a little bad. And the one I hit the coop there on the sideline, they were playing cover 2 and just kind of hit a hole shot in there to him. So, heck of a play by him. Got it started with a big gain. And that was good momentum for us. It was unfortunate that we weren't able to put points on board the rest of the day.
Yeah, you got a series of work, I believe, in the Arizona game. You didn't have any preseason stuff. What have you noticed there about the speed of the game here in your first 2 times you've been on the field?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is guys are just bigger than what I'm used to. Coming from James Madison and FCS school, you don't see guys like Chase Young every day. But the bottom line is football, and it's the same game that I've been playing since I've been in 7th grade. So I couldn't do anything else except go out there with a smile. And I got in the huddle and said, let's go, let's have some fun. We got nothing to lose. It's raining. There's no one in the stands. Let's try to create our own energy here and try to find some positives from this day and go put points on the board.
Ben, on the note of what you just said, you clearly went in with a positive attitude, but raining, no fans, as a rookie, 2 quarterbacks down, I mean, how different is this from what you imagined from your first, I guess, longer-term experience in the NFL?
Yeah, I think if you would have told me, a year ago that this is where I was going to be in a year, I think I would say no way. You'd have to pinch me, but here we are. It's 2020. No one really knows what to expect. The next day, let alone a week down the road. So here we are. This team drafted me for a reason, and Coach McCarthy, brought me here for a reason. So if my number's called in the future, I'm going to make sure that I do everything I can to keep the show on the road and make sure that the other guys in the locker room got as much faith in me out there as number 4, number 14.
There's rookie quarterback Ben DiNucci, a late-round pick out of James Madison University, not too far from...
He started at Pitt. He's played some big football before, but he started at Pitt.
Yeah, and he's from the Pittsburgh area, which, of course, is where Mike McCarthy's from. I think they're from pretty close to one another.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I think McCarthy wanted to draft him, but finished up at JMU, not too far from the D.C. area, so bit of a homecoming for him.
Yeah, probably not the way he wanted to go out there, and not with your quarterback laying on the ground the way, but... I'll say this, though. Ben DiNucci will probably be your starter in a Sunday night game in Philadelphia next week.
Any chance for former Texas and SMU quarterback Garrett Gilbert?
I don't think so. I think they're going to go with the guy. With quarterbacks, it's a little bit different. You're going to go with the guy that's been there the longest, but Gilbert's got to be ready now. We've seen what's happened with the Cowboy quarterback situation, and he's right. It's 2020. It's, there's some teams that are very fortunate that they've gone through this, and, they've had to deal with some, the COVID issues, the testing, a lot happening to a lot of teams. This team seems to be dealing with the COVID issues very well, but not dealing with the other injuries that's kind of kept them from, having a full squad. And I think that ultimately is the bigger problem here. They don't have their full squad, and defensively in some areas that are going to rely on some guys, they're just not good enough. And so you got to figure out a way to evaluate and move forward from there.
877-881-1053. Let's talk to Scott in Jersey. Go ahead, Scott. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it, man. Hey, I think, this whole season has a lot to do with the COVID. We have new coaches all over. We have a new head coach. We have a new defensive coach. We have new everything. I really think us not being able to practice, we go to preseason, we do everything, has a lot to do with it. And just also, my prediction is, in this division, whoever wins the next 4 or 5 games is going to win this division. You watch and see, this division's wide open. I mean, I hate to say it, but...
Appreciate the phone call, Scott. Look, I
understand optimism.
You can blame COVID. The thing is, you knew the situation you had when you took over the job in your Mike McCarthy in March.
Yeah.
You knew the situation. It started to make itself obvious in April. You weren't going to have mini camps. You weren't going to have OTAs. You have to adjust. And at the end of the day, as much as it is about, well, they just didn't have enough practice time and blah, 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 blah.
Appreciate you, Robert,
this
for the
team was
donation.
going to have a bad to perhaps a little bit average defense. This comes down to the injury to 4 of your 5 starters on your offensive line and Dak Prescott.
These seasons of suffering
That's
will
it.
Well, you're in a
that much sweeter.
No doubt, man. Really appreciate you, Robert.
Rounds.
Right.
It's a new staff with, they've had to deal with. There's teams.
Washington just beat you. That's a new staff.
Yeah, Washington just beat you. Their record's the same as yours, but Carolina. I mean, there's a lot of teams that had to adjust, but you're right. Ari, the injuries, too much to overcome. The lack of defensive talent, too much to overcome. Misevaluations with the defense,
yes,
too much to overcome. And that's why you're in the situation you are. We keep asking questions, why, and we're trying to dig in a little further about locker rooms, not getting good answers there. Players are talking about, we need to do this, need to do that kind of thing, scheme related. Okay, I get it. And then we're digging into, guys are not defending one another. I understand that. I understand our caller earlier. She's upset. I don't blame her. Right. But this is what this team is. You don't have to accept it. But when you're looking for answers, all the things we're talking about in this post-game show, you need to consider. And then maybe come up with your own answers. Why?
Will Chambers, who's going to be on the flagship station of the Dallas Cowboys 105.3 The Fan with Chris Arnold starting after us at 6 o'clock Central, send me a note. Cowboys have given up 243 points, second most all time through 7 games since the merger. Houston in 1973 started 0-7 with 250 points given up through 7 games. Cowboys 243 points surrendered in 7 games so far this season. And this was a good one considering they only gave up 25 to the football team and had given up at least 30 in the previous 5 games. Only twice this season have the Cowboys not given up 30 points. It was the opener, and then this week the 25-3 loss to the football team. So, I mean, it's pretty consistent. And I mean, the plus is you only give up 25 points, which is nice. You only turn the ball over once. You're averaging at least 2 turnovers a game every game this season.
But you gave up 6 sacks.
Yeah. 6 sacks, a safety, interception.
Yeah, interception on the 10-yard line. Yeah. And you gave up 128 yards to a guy that, you gave up a lot of rushing yards to a team that hadn't run the ball all that well this year.
Getting sick and tired of hearing announcers talk about, man, this running game has been really bad for this team, but they've figured it out against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Usually do.
Let me ask you something. It's impossible to tell at this moment, right? Because we don't really know. But do you think this is a bad hire, McCarthy? Is it a bad hire at this point?
No, I don't think so. I think what Mike's going to realize, though, is that there were some of the assistants that he hired were probably not good fits, and maybe those assistants will say, these coaches, they know, and Mike Nolan, I mean, to his, again, not defending him, they got bad players. They've probably put some bad players in situations that they shouldn't have put bad players in. So that's on the coaches. But I think Mike McCarthy is going to look at this. It's going to end up, it's going to hit 3-13, 4-12, and he's going to say, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going to allow this to happen. And I think you'll see evaluations about the players. I think you'll see some what we call bloodletting. I think there'll be some coaches that clearly will be removed. And I think Jerry and Steven will say, okay, that's what you want to do. Let's do this. But he is going to try and fix this problem, but it clearly is a problem. And, I think that I'm willing to give him the opportunity to do that.
You remember Jalen Smith's rookie year, not the one that he didn't play, the next year after playing, I think it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of the year that year, offensive coordinators would watch film of the Cowboys and just put Jalen Smith in the screen game and just eat him alive. Yeah. 2018, he had a great year, but since then, I mean, you look at this offensive approach teams are taking against the Cowboys. It's the same thing at the end of Jalen's rookie year in 17 when it was just like, just find Jalen Smith and screen him to death.
Well, he played well against the screens against the Giants. Anything going downhill, but when you ask him to play in coverage one-on-one, and we saw what happened. You got the pass interference going down the field. I believe it was on McKissick.
But they probably have to look at that position and say, we probably need to get better there at linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. They clearly have to get better at linebacker. They clearly have to get better at
all 3
corner.
levels of their defense.
Yeah, all levels. There's, like there used to be a time where I'd say you could pick any defensive position. It would probably help this team. And this is the case. You just got to make sure, though, that those high picks you have, that you find a way to hit on them. Those compensatories are going to give you. If you need to move around. But, make sure you get the guys you want to get. You can turn this thing around defensively if you can.
877-881-1053. Reggie and Tyler. Go ahead, Reggie. You're on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
Thank you for taking my call. Just real quick. This falls right at Jerry's and Steven's feet, but yet still there are 4 players out there that can help turn this around for the Cowboys. They can go get Reed and Thomas at safety, Snack Harris, beg them to get him at defensive tackle, and go make a trade for Jameis Winston, because there is no reason for us to score 3 points with all this offensive firepower we have. So go get somebody that's going to compete and play football, and we still can win this division. It's just that simple. But this does fall at the feet of Jerry for letting Byron Jones go because he don't get interception. But nobody was running free on him, scoring on him. But you bring in Darryl Worley that can't cover an 8th grader.
Well,
That's nonsense,
let me ask you a
man.
question, Reggie. Are you concerned about having money to sign your quarterback next year?
I'm not worried about next year. We're talking about this year.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, to me, I'm just asking the question because if you're not, I understand what you're saying. Go out and get a bunch of players. I understand that, but they're trying to think about how are they going to have money in order to pay their quarterback next year.
And I think he still can. That was his fault, though, because he should have signed Dak 2 years ago.
Oh no, there's no question. But okay, now you and I are in the same boat here. You're thinking I'm not worried about next year, and now I'm with you on that.
It's about now. It's about the moment now.
The message that we're getting is there's concern. They're concerned about having, and by all means, you're right. Go out and get players. Make a difference.
Snacks Harrison, by the way, is on Seattle.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say, unless you want to. Yeah, I don't think Snacks wants to leave Seattle. By the way,
he's
on the practice squad.
He had all the chances in the world to sign him.
Well, he might. He's from Dallas. He might want to come back. But yeah, to your point, I mean, they're giving me that vibe that they want to keep as much money as they can, to make sure that they have everything taken care of. So
they have to guarantee Dak $37 million next year
Exactly.
against a cap. It's going to be down.
Yeah, that's by them being this nervous about it, that they know something that we don't know.
877-881-1053. 877-881-1053 with Brian Broaddus, the Super Bowl winning NFL scout. I am Ari Temkin. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
All right, so that's not they go on commercial break, but that's not the case in our scenario. We can't be saying, okay, we waiting for next year, we waiting for next year, we waiting for next year. That can't be the situation. We can't be playing like that. The caller was right, man. Look, it's about now. Look, what we want to do. I should plan to do this show next year, or I should plan to do this show Wednesday. Should I stop this stream right now and do the post game Wednesday? Would you guys want me to do the post game Wednesday, go back and then do the recording and do all of that, or do you want it now? Let me know. Let me know in the chat box, because we can't be looking at this thing saying, okay, now we planning for next year. We was only 6 games in this year. We could have did those moves, all of those moves that he was talking about. You could have did that 4 games ago. And on Newsflash, those guys are on the streets. They don't cost you that much money, right? So that's crazy to me. So now they thinking about in the future. What's that movie I saw, X-Men, when they had the guy Charles Xavier when he was young and he couldn't know the future? He said, I don't want your future. He didn't want to do what he wanted to do, but he said, I don't want your future. So we need something now. We getting mollywopped now. We getting beat down now is what I'm trying to say. Historically speaking, we are the worst team as it relates to defense now. I mean, God, dog, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. So we keep talking about, hey, we trying to save the money, we're trying to preserve the money. You could have saved some money by cutting Tyrone Crawford go. Let me know if he's living up to that $10 million that you wanted so secretly to save. Are we getting $10 million from I'm about to say Taco Charlton, but my goodness. Are we getting $10 million value off of Crawford right now? What was so important to save that money? Let me see in the chat box, man. Why was it so important to save Tyrone Crawford $10 million? Why was that so important? I'm going to read in the comment box. Days of the Future Past movie. Yeah, Eric. He said, I don't want your future. Dak is the Cowboys and will be in the future. This is from Jessica. Yes, but right now, it's about now. It's about now. They could have paid Dak Prescott 2 years ago for $25 million. His market value was $22 million. I guarantee you, yes, we'd have got a little heat action from the fan base, but hey, we wouldn't have been talking about Dak right about now. And we saw how they kind of maneuver that money around, extended and slide that money around with Zach Martin. People do what they want to do. Oh, my God.
Wait to take.
All right, for the ladies that's in the chat box, man, I'm going to ask y'all this question. Let's say you've been dating this guy for a minute, and I tried to use it on my live feed earlier. Let's say you've been dating this guy, and you really, 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 really love him, and you like him or what have you, but you know he got some money, got some paper, what have you. So 9 times out of 10, how the ladies do it, y'all go out there and y'all have different variations of rings. There's a princess cut ring. There's a different cut ring. But if you the certain lady and you know for sure what he got in his bank account, and you sitting there telling him, hey, I want a princess cut ring, I want a princess cut diamond, whatever it may be. I forgot all of the cuts of it. But if you sitting there saying, I want a princess cut ring, and he said, no, I'm not going to give you the princess cut. I'm not going to give you the princess cut. Do he really, and I know it's not about the money or what have you, but do you really think that guy value your interests or what have you, value your opinion, value your heart, value your time? When you sitting there telling him, I got a princess cut, I want a princess cut, that's my favorite ring. Hey, that's Pookie. That's the one I want right there. Hey, that's the one I want. And he's sitting there saying, nah, you're going to get the one that I want you to get. That's what the Cowboys did to Dak Prescott. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know if I'm lying. Oh, you're going to get the 5 year. You can't get the 4. We're going to go back and forward over the 5 to the 4 years. We're going to go back and forward. But if you love her and you got the money and you got the love and adulations for her, you're going to go out there and say, baby, if I could be anything in this world, I would be the tears that was born in your eyes, lived upon your cheeks, and died on your lips. I'm telling you guys, y'all can use that. Here's the princess cut. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Yeah. You're going to give her what she want. I digress.
Defense is capable of that.
They told Dak Prescott, oh, hell no. You're going to get this 5 year, you're going to get this 5 year contract. Mm-hmm. They telling the lady, you're going to get this Cuban zirconian. You're going to get this Cuban zirconian. No diamonds. You said you love me. Material things don't matter. It can look exactly the same. It's Cuban zirconia. You're going to get that.
The Cowboys still 1-1 in the division, so I suppose it's not impossible, but it seems impossible if you've watched last.
Let me know if I'm lying.
120 minutes of football for this team.
Yeah, it's tough because, again, the offensive line, the defense, coaching, you're on your third quarterback. Those are all things that
third left tackle.
Yeah, those are the things that will.
Oh, boy, said it sound like an abusive relationship, and why she can't just get the ring that you give her. It don't work that way, Jack. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Love is something deep, man. You can go to the bubblegum machine and say, hey, here's the plastic ring. Here you go. I'm confessing my love for you. But when she know that you got the possibility to go out there and give her a ring that she wants out of her heart, soul, and desire, you don't do that. Now, love is love. It don't matter about the size of the ring, but you got to understand that there's reading within context of it. Oh, buddy, man, I can school some of you guys, but I ain't
You're not the first. There's a lot of people out there that don't agree with what I'm saying.
I mean, but it's not like, again, this isn't rocket science here. You can watch the games and decipher why this team is bad.
Yeah.
They played 7 football games and have looked pretty similar all 7 games. The only difference is they had a quarterback that could really make plays.
The great deodorant. Yeah, that's what this guy was. And then when he went out, you've seen what happened the last 2 weeks. Without him, you lose the leadership, the offense. I mean, CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup are sitting right now on the plane flying home together, and they're kind of looking at each other like, man, we had it pretty good, didn't we? We had it pretty good with that quarterback throwing us the ball. And it's a big difference right there. It's a big difference.
There was a quarterback here in Dallas for a long time, and he used to have, there was a MO around him nationally. He was a choker, choked the biggest moments. Then I started watching Cowboys games, and it's like, no. Tony Romo is he's the one dragging this team along.
8-8 because Tony Romo's not
right.
going to be 6-10.
Right. Yeah. You talk about great deodorant. Here we have a second consecutive quarterback for the Cowboys where it's like, he's a polarizing guy. You've got a lot of the fan base that doesn't think he's very good, or he chokes, or he's not big in the big moments. And it's like, now we're seeing point blank. And we saw this with Romo. He went down, and they went 4-12 and won 1 football game after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, your quarterback can make up for a lot of issues you have. There's no other position in sports that does that. Zeke's really good. How much is Zeke Elliott making up right now for everything that's not happening right for this team?
Thompson,
How much can Zeke make up? Zeke's still a really good running back, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not doing anything. Because the running back cannot impact the game as much as a quarterback can. And that's, like, if you didn't think Dak Prescott was really good, then I don't know what else. There's no better evidence than what you're seeing right now. The only question will be if the Cowboys end up with a high enough pick to take a Justin Fields or a Trevor Lawrence, which could end up happening, what do they then do at the quarterback situation? 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. What do you say to the people still clamoring for Earl Thomas to sign? We still have people that are like, just sign Earl Thomas, sign Eric Reed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because those are the folks that still feel like that they have a chance to win the division. Those are the folks that feel like that, oh, no, we're fine if we could just add these 3 or 4 pieces. You know, that's you know, would they be better players? Maybe so. But the way that the Cowboys are handling their cap situation right now leads me to believe that they're not interested in adding any more salary than they have to. Because I believe they know something about the cap that we don't know.
They had ample opportunities throughout this offseason to improve their secondary. Logan Ryan's a guy that was available.
Sure was.
For a long time. The Giants finally signed him, I think, the week leading up to that first week of the season. Might be looking at a different reality, by the way, had the Cowboys signed Logan Ryan, but that's neither here nor there. They had ample opportunities throughout this offseason, even leading up to the regular season, to make significant changes on defense, and they didn't for that reason. And look, the salary cap's tied to revenue. Revenue's going to be down this year. Cowboys are one of the few teams that are going to be, that have this many fans for every game this season. So the Cowboys, and I believe that's revenue that's still split amongst the league, right? So Cowboys are trying to do everything they can to try to get the salary cap up as high as possible. But you're right. I mean, I think it's not going to go down. Like, there's a number that they've said this is going to be the basement. So there's no way it can go under this. We'll see. It's $200 million this year, and it's going to go down next year. The problem is, though, after that year, it's going to skyrocket because of the new TV money.
There you go. And the gambling stuff, too, coming in as well.
It's a very interesting subplot to the future of the salary cap in Dallas, or throughout the National Football League. Homed over 8,500 of your favorite electronic.
They go into commercial. But here's the situation, and I know some people are going over their head. You always put your best foot forward, basically, is what I'm saying, especially when you have the chances and the opportunity. People are not crazy. People know when you buy the new car, you don't leave it outside. Let me use that one as an analogy. You don't park it outside when you got a 3-car garage. Regardless of how old the car is, when you first buy the car, you're not going to leave it outside. Come on, let's be real with it. And that's the same situation. You protect the things that you want to secure. And yeah, you don't go all the way out your way. If you got $10,000 in your banking account, you don't go buy $11,000 ring. I'm not saying that. Let's be real with it. I'm talking finance to you guys. But you put back because it shows that you are saving and you securing and you planning and you protecting what you covet the most. So that's why you go out and you spend a little bit more. That's why you put back and save. Especially they had 3 to 4 years to do so. But you don't look people in the face and say, well, I'm allowed to kick it, knowing that we know your checkbook is $25,000 in the bank, and you bring up, hey, I got this $200 gift for you as it relates to will you marry me for a ring. You don't do that. It don't work both ways, and it's not being simp. That's just the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. You don't do it, and especially when you paid everybody else, when they saw that you gave everybody else the resources. But things come back to bite you, and you know what? When you do those things, it's called karma. When we look at the Ring of Honor, when we look at everything and we look up over there and you see that the person that coached the guys in the ring, but the coach is not in the Ring of Honor, that goes a long way. So you mean to tell me Troy Aikman, Emmett, and Michael Irvin are in the Ring of Honor, but Jimmy Johnson not? That don't work that way. Karma is always sitting there saying, hello, I'm here. You don't do those things. That's why crazy things happen. It's called giving out positive energy, positive energy come back to you type of groove. Oh, my goodness. Tank for draft picks. This is from my dog over here. Let me see. Let's see who put that out there. HGCJ. My thing is, I think that's a J at the end. CJ. Well, when you tank for draft picks, that defeative mentality settles in. And I'm telling you, that's an ugly booger bear. Those people that's on your team that's tanking, then on top of that, you get a lot of injuries, too, when you play at half speed. You do. So that's the problem. That's the reality of it. Trade Dak, laugh out loud. This is from Maverick. Well, you can't trade him. You'll have to sign him, then trade him, because after the end of this year, he'll be a free agent. You see how that goes? You can put a tender on him and try to do it from there. Let's go over here. Just quick Q&A time before they get back live over here. Just let me see. Stay at home, ladies ride a cowboy. If she's that good, Law, I don't have to ask her, and she don't have to ask me. She gonna get it. Yeah. Let me know how that goes. Jay-Z still had to propose to Beyonce, right? He just didn't, it just didn't happen organically. I didn't mind getting Justin Fields at this point. Yeah, but he still had to go through some growing pains as well. Law Nation, if we cut one, do we let would it be D-Law? I think the salary is too bad right now for that contract to cut him. Whatever.
Fair point. Yeah. No, that's a fair point. That's an absolutely fair point.
Why would you want to get on the crappiest team in the league when in a year from now, after you get your $37 million cap, you got your choice? I would not want to come in this team. It's a train wreck, and it's going to be a train wreck for a while. How to fix it? Take the steps needed. Clear your freaking cap. See a DeMarcus. See all the high contracts. Let them all go. You re-sign Gallup when he comes up. You stick with Lamb. You let Amari go after a couple of years. You start investing. You invest in a quarterback. You start over. You start drafting on defense. You get young guys. And for gosh sake, stop talking about Tyron Smith. The guy hasn't had a healthy year for 5 years. So stop saying next year he'll be on the field. We'll be good. Just stop it.
Are you going to take that tackle from Oregon?
I'll take whatever we need.
No. I'm asking you. You're a top 5 pick. Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm going to give you a top 5 pick.
No. My top 5 pick is I go with the QB, and then if I could either I go with the QB or I trade down and get a couple more picks. If I could get the QB and the tackle, absolutely do that. But you're going to get the QB for his first 2 to 3 years. We're going to stink because we got to clear all the dead money, and we're going to have a bunch of young guys. But in his 4th and 5th year on the option year, that's why I got to get the quarterback in the first round for the option year.
So we're going to waste 2 years of our quarterback, though, right? Being bad.
We're going to be bad for 2 to 3 years. Come on, we're already bad. We've been bad.
I understand. No, you're bad on defense. You're bad on defense. That's what I was asking. If you're interested in getting the quarterback, I understand.
Are we going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here? Like I don't see this being a full rebuild. Again, they missed on defense. This was going to be a bad defense. The issue here is the starting quarterback and 4 of your offensive linemen are out. I get the idea of don't count on Tyron Smith, but it's not just Tyron Smith that's missing time right now.
Yeah.
So, are we going to throw the baby out with the bathwater here?
Oh, no. I like anytime you're starting to talk about team building, I'm okay. If you don't feel like you need to pay the quarterback $40 million, that's not our decision.
Right.
But that's their decision. And their decision so far is they're going to keep tagging the guy. And if you really want to, if you have no intention, if you got a high enough pick where you think you can get one of those quarterbacks, tag him and trade him. And now get some things for it. And rebuild your team.
Yeah, true.
877-881-1053. Russ in Fort Worth. Go ahead, Russ in Fort Worth. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, Jeff, I just want to say, you sound a lot like Ari Timken.
It is Ari.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just joking.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't mean for you to get the shaft there.
Appreciate that.
On behalf of the Cowboys fans.
But I also enjoy listening to Jeff Kavanaugh and Brian Broaddus as well.
Yeah, he's not bad. Anyway, you guys have kind of touched on what I want to talk about just with Trevor Lawrence. I did not think as much of a possibility before today. Like, we didn't just lose to a bad football team. We lost convincingly to a bad football team.
Yeah,
the O-line and the defense is making me think it's possible to get Trevor Lawrence, but there's like 8 or 9 teams ahead of us in the tank standing. So I just want to know what you guys think of the possibility of getting Trevor Lawrence, or possibly we get a 5. How valuable is the control of Dak Prescott? Could a team possibly trade the control of Dak Prescott where we can move up for Trevor Lawrence? If we get Trevor Lawrence, what are all the Cowboys players going to think about that? just with Jerry Jones giving Dak the shaft? Are they going to be accepting Trevor Lawrence?
Appreciate the phone call. That's an interesting. The last piece is very interesting too, because it's not like this stuff occurs in a vacuum, right? I mean, this is a locker room that loves Dak Prescott. He's a great leader. We know that about him. I believe I saw my buddy Patrick Kahn tweet that the Cowboys are currently 9th. They're picking 9th right now.
So with the 2-5 record, they're currently 9th.
Yes.
Right.
So they got nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah.
I got to shoot up that draft board here in the next 9 weeks because, yeah, I mean, you said it last week during the Arizona game. I don't know that I was ready to commit fully to it in the Arizona game. I'm a week behind you this season.
Well, as far as losing all these games?
Yeah, and multiple calls you made this year, I'm a game behind you. I can't remember. There was one earlier in the season you said, and I was like,
Hey, did you see where Zeke took off his sleeves?
Zeke's a game behind you, too.
Yeah.
Took off his sleeves in the cold weather. But, like, last week you're like, yeah, this team may not win another game. And I was like, let's see against Washington next week. And now I've seen it.
With the Nooch having to play quarterback against the Eagles, probably going to take an L there.
Yeah.
Then you got the Steelers.
And Carson Wentz may not be as good as he looked, his rookie year or second year or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he's still going to be able to light this secondary up.
You're going to take an L likely at Philadelphia.
Yep.
You're going to take an L against the Steelers at home.
Yes.
You're going to go in the bye week. Now you're going to think about, okay, what do we have to do? Do we keep playing with the Nooch? You go back to Andy Dalton. I mean, does Andy play against the Steelers?
And then you get Minnesota after the bye at Minnesota.
Then Baltimore after that.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cincinnati's at least competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's homecoming, though?
Mm-hmm.
49ers and Eagles and Giants. It's just watching this team for 2 weeks.
Tell me who you're going to beat out of all that mess.
We can beat the...
I mean, the teams I would look at are still the divisional teams.
Yeah.
Washington, the Giants, and maybe the Bengals.
Yeah. Nobody else.
Yeah. And those are all, I mean, watching the last 2 games, it's hard for me to conceive of them coming up with enough points to win any of these games.
2 more wins, maybe? 4-12?
I find it. When they got to 22, I thought, well, there's no way the Cowboys can
This
get to
game was
22.
over at half.
Yeah.
It was over at half.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do anything.
I mean, it used to be this team can get to 40, and now it's like this team can't get to 20.
This team can't come back.
877-881-1053 will give you the player of the game. Yeah, they had one. There was a player of the game. We'll tell you who that is next. Plus, take your phone calls. Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin.
Yeah, I do the phone calls at the end on my side, but I really appreciate everybody that's tuning in. My name is Law Nation, LAW Nation. You can find me on multiple platforms here on YouTube and Facebook, as well as Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at LAW Nation. So I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying here. If this team really want to try to win this thing out, they're going to have to make some moves. It's going to have to be about the focus of the now. Now, I know some people are saying tanking and these sorts of things. Well, there are other teams that's worse than us right now. That's why if the season were to end, we'll be picking at 9th. So in order to get the person, quote unquote, that you really want, you will have to either trade up to do that, and there's going to be a lot of real estate there, or, you will have to lose out. And I think that this team is as horrible as we looking right now, we still going to win a few more games. And I don't want that defeative mentality around me. I'm always fighting. I'm always looking at this thing of saying, hey, let's look at it from these perspectives. And then you got the big, like I said earlier, so I'm trying to calm myself down. Like I said earlier, that this team all off season, regardless of how you say it or hear it, we're going to be talking about Dak Prescott and his contract. It's just all going to be the distraction there. Do you sign him for the $40 million contract that he wants, or do you sign him for the franchise tag for one more year to see if we can do a prove-it situation? Do you sign and trade or what have you? Or do you go look at this drafting situation and then you bring in a Justin Fields, or do you bring in a Trevor Law, and now you got to go through a whole gauntlet of looking at this guy and knowing the first thing that the Cowboys fans would do is always the comparison analysis. They'll say, hey, Dak Prescott won 13 games his rookie year. Hey, Troy Aikman did this in his rookie year, and it was 1-15, whatever it may be. And then you'll hear the same cycle over and over and over again, and not looking at the fact that we are historically bad at defense. Let that sink in. So you pick an offensive guy, again, with your first overall draft pick, and we're historically bad on defense. Let that sink into your mental. And then we got the 5,000-pound gorilla or 5,000-pound elephant over here with the actual Tyron Smith situation. What do you do with that? Do you say, okay, we're going to usher out Tyron Smith one more time? You know, what we do? What we do with the Tyron Smith? And one truth could be said by this right here, not trying to sully the waters and not trying to put negative thoughts out there, but I got to be real with you guys. Nobody would never, ever know that La'el Collins' mindset is right. We don't know that the right tackle that we paid all of those coins to is going to be motivated to be back out there to play for 2021. Because all of offseason this year, it was reported that he was out of shape and he wasn't ready. He wasn't mentally ready to play. And then he got into a car wreck, and now they say, okay, well, maybe we can slide in that hip action and say that, okay, his hip action came through the car wreck, when it was already reported before everything came in a rise that he was out of shape. So now we got to deal with those right tackle situations. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, and Tupac and Biggie can know that Connor Williams, he just Connor Williams. Let's be real about that, right? Zach Martin is the only stone that's sitting there saying, okay, I can hold my fort. Maybe Tyler Biotish, maybe he can grow for next year. But y'all want me to tell y'all lies? Y'all want to hear the lies? Y'all want to hear the untruths? Oh, my goodness. We historically bad on defense. So now that pressure will be it forever in our face. Do you go get the best defensive player in 2021 and you re-sign Dak Prescott to this multi-million-dollar deal or what have you and say, okay, let's chunk up the deuces. Let's go get this Super Bowl? Or do you look back at it and say, okay, nah, a quarterback, you can't pass up on that type of talent. Let's move up. We got 5 years with this quarterback. There's something to think about, Cowboy Nation. I don't see the O-line too bad. You know, Big C, what's good with you, fam? With Belichick, Kellen Moore wasn't good enough to make the team, but he's good enough to call plays. Man, please, he needs to go, too. This is Kevin. And, you know, sometimes when you terraform, you change out everything. You know, he change out everything. Matter of fact, I like the fact when some new coaches come in, they start ripping down old signs. They start ripping down. They burn everything. They just say, okay, we cast everything out. Even biblically, I'm not going to take it all the way there, but biblically, they usually clear off everything. Let no old lineage live, you know, because every time that one lineage that lives come back to hunt you and bite you. Biblically speaking, by the way. Old Testament, by the way. But our schedule is hard. Yeah. Yes, Akeem. It is hard. Yeah, this is a hard schedule. 111.1 QB rating. Yeah. Yeah, Quan. Yeah, they allowed that to happen. They did. Yeah.
Save even more.
They're still on commercial break. But I really appreciate everybody that's tuning in. I hope that you guys is not looking at it like, man, this dude just lying to kick it. No, I'm telling you guys the truth. It's an ugly truth. It looks like, That's how the truth look right now. It's an ugly truth. Shout out to you, Jag, man. Really appreciate you. I would get rid of the whole defense. It's from Toot Robinson, my dog over there. Yeah. It's one of those things where there's some good pieces, you know, trying to find some pieces. There's some good pieces. But, you know, at the same time, we got to look at it like the pieces that are good, you know, in a sense, are being overpaid. I think that like the value, like let's say for example, if Tyrone Crawford was getting paid like $3 million or $2 million, we won't look at him as that bad. But when it's $10 million, like come on, like D-Law, he's getting paid $6 or $7 million a year, we won't look at him, we won't hold him that bad of a situation, right? Let me see who else. Randy Gregory, we got him signed up for a good minute, I think. Nobody on defense. Everybody playing for a contract on defense as relates to the secondary outside of Anthony Get Down Brown. Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll flat out see, man. Shout out to the Washington team. McCarthy is a clown. This is from Hunter.
A little delay.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Jessica. Really appreciate you for holding it down over here. Really appreciate your love and adulation for the channel. Got a donation, man. XO_Ty, man. Really appreciate you so much for the donation to help elevate.
Tackles for Leighton Vander Esch. He missed some in this one, but for the most part, he seemed like one of the few defensive players that cared in this one.
He did, and that's the thing with Leighton coming back. You know, the Monday night game, you're kind of wondering how he was going to respond with one less day rest, but came back. I felt like looked pretty good moving around. Was physical at the point of attack. Obviously played more plays in this game too. So that'll be good going forward. Defensively, you should get back Cheeto this week. And then the following week against Pittsburgh, you should get back Sean Lee. So maybe there is some defensive help along the way, and you can take some people off the field that haven't been helping you.
And look, at this point, much of what you're going to be doing on the field is about evaluating.
Right.
And, Cheeto's looking for a second contract here. At this point, you're probably not going to give another contract to Anthony Brown or Jordan Lewis and these guys that in their secondary that are up for them. There's just, you can count on one hand the amount of football players on defense that you're probably going to feel confident with moving forward with this team. A lot of guys that misevaluated, especially in the secondary. 877-881-1053 with Brian Broaddus. I am Ari Temkin on Twitter at Ari Sports or at Brian Broaddus. Let's talk to Adina in Nashville. Go ahead, Adina. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Yes, this is Adina, and I'm
Adina.
a Cowboys fan for life.
Adina.
Yes, Adina. That's right. I live in Nashville now, but I'm a Cowboys fan for life, and I want to say, how can we expect a rookie quarterback to come in here and do anything? He's the MVP, if you ask me. He went out there every time he threw the ball, he connected. He didn't throw an interception, and we got no offensive line. It's snap, run. There is no pocket whatsoever. And Nolan's day has passed. We need a new defensive coach. That's what I got to say.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate the phone call, Adina. Yeah, you're not going to expect a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, we weren't expecting anything, and he's going to get to start. I guarantee you, he's going to get to start. When you're talking about quarterbacks and concussion protocols and all that stuff, and
shout out to the lady callers too, man. On 105.3 The Fan, and shout out to Gregory Taylor, man. Thank you for the donation to help elevated and XO_Ty. Jerry said he's fine with the secondary. Yeah. Females are running the world over there, man. They calling in. The ladies. You're listening in to the ladies.
some of those guys might get in for, or maybe even Zach Martin will be back. Maybe you can move him, move Connor Williams, kind of figure out some things. Try and make a little bit better configuration of your five guys in front.
877-881-1053. Sam is calling in from Dallas. Go ahead, Sam. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Excellent.
There's two reasons I listen to this station. It's Mike Bassick and Brian Broaddus. So
we're both old, crusty guys, and we appreciate that.
You've been there, and that's what I like.
Thank you. Well, I have lived this. I have lived this before, yes, sir.
So I like to hold on and ask this question, number one. I got three questions. So, Brian, if you were Mr. Jones, A, would you have drafted Zeke?
You know what? I'll tell you why they drafted Zeke. And I know you asked me, but yes, Zeke was one of my top two players. But the reason why they drafted Zeke was because Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard signed off on him. Because they weren't sure whether they were going to play Jalen Ramsey, if they were going to play him at safety or at corner. But I know for a fact that Marinelli and Richard signed off on it, said, yeah, you can help us by drafting that guy. And yes, at the time, Miles Jack was my first player, and Ezekiel Elliott was my second player on my board.
Chris Richard
so yeah, I would
then.
have probably drafted him. But Ramsey was not that far down that list from what we were looking at.
877-881-1053. Hunter in Argyle. Hunter, you're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Chris Richard wasn't here in 2016, though. But, I feel what he's saying.
All right. I appreciate you guys taking my call, man.
Sure.
Since Dalton got hurt today, I figured Cowboys probably going to pick up another quarterback. Why not give undrafted free agent out of UNT, Mason Fine? He's an undersized quarterback, kind of like Drew Brees. He trained with Drew Brees this past offseason. Why not give a kid like that a shot just to come in and learn a little bit? And I promise you, everybody in Denton would be very happy if they gave that kid a shot.
Are you a UNT guy?
I am. I work with the football team. So
Oh, go Eagles. All right, there you go.
Talk about Mason Fine a little bit.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
You had the nugget on that he trained with Drew Brees there, so
I like
have
that.
some kind of information.
I like that.
Sure, why not? It's not Mason Fine. Why not?
Personally who, and maybe it won't matter.
It's in the chat.
But I would look at Colin Kaepernick. I really would. I'd bring him in for a workout now. Seriously, you're looking at me really, really strange.
Well, I'm looking
but your offensive line's kind of a mess.
The Mason Fine call seemed less crazy than that comment.
No, I really would. I would look at Colin Kaepernick here. Just because I feel like the offense and what you might want to do, the movement, the pocket, maybe with a bad line, this guy could sling it around a little bit. He's big, he's durable. Yeah, just work him out. He might not be worth a damn, But I would if you're serious about
winning,
if you're serious about wanting to bring in the best quarterback, out there, because you're not going to get somebody off a practice squad or whatever that's going to help you. But they had an opportunity to maybe bring in Colin Kaepernick, and they went after Gilbert. So my idea is probably pretty bad that way.
Garrett Gilbert. Yeah, he's the backup quarterback now, so maybe they need to sign somebody for their practice squad.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I'd be interested to see. I'd be interested to work him out to see if he wanted to play. And if he wants to play, maybe he's a guy that offensively, he's been there. He's been in Super Bowls. He's a guy that kind of people rally around. You talk about a locker room that would rally around a guy.
Smith, shout out to you, man. Don't
that's what you're missing right now. You don't have that guy. I think Leighton Vander Esch is trying to be that guy. I think Zeke could be that guy, but the problem is Zeke's turning over the ball now. So people are like going, okay, But me personally, if you're going to evaluate that guy, see where you're at.
877-881-1053. Chase is calling in. Go ahead, Chase from the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey guys, I don't really have a question, and I'm not going to vent my frustration, but I'll be honest. I had been a critic of Dak, and I've nitpicked his game quite a bit, but you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Yeah,
and it's made me realize how good a quarterback he really is. He's the glue that holds it together, and just thinking about it, there's probably about 20 to 25 teams that wish they had him.
Yeah.
So. I hope they get a deal done with him, and thank you guys for your great coverage. Brian, you've been a great addition to the team, and
appreciate that.
Always look forward to your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
I think Dak Prescott is easily a top 10 quarterback. You can argue where he is there.
Sure. I mean, it's impressive what he has done with what's happened, with this team. You gave the example of Tony Romo and willing a team to be 8-8 when it should be really 5-11 or 6-10 kind of a thing. He was always going to get you. But I think there's a lot of players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that when Dak Prescott went down, they went, oh, geez, there goes our lifeline. If when we make mistakes or things will happen. See, the hope I was thinking was that the defense was going to start getting back some guys.
Right.
And then Dak Prescott was going to be able to kind of rally everybody around, and then find a way to finish this thing off. But, that's just not going to be the case now.
Yeah, we saw when the Cowboys went 4-12 without Tony Romo, and now we're seeing, sometimes we can really severely underrate the Cowboys quarterbacks. And look, this is a history. This is a storied.
The last guy to win a game as a backup quarterback is Matthew Castle. Let that sink in.
If you sat there and watched that team for a decade, you'd be like, this is kind of what it looks like. What you're watching for the Cowboys is kind of what it looks like. It's similar to what it was after Troy before Tony, right?
Right. I'll tell you what, the early 2000s, I'd have killed to have Dak Prescott. Seriously, we were in the wilderness wandering around looking for a quarterback, and if one would have just shown up in the fourth round, because we never had a first-round pick, but, man, if Dak Prescott was there, that would have been nice to have.
Yeah, Dak, and I think that this year Dak was really out and proving something because – there was always this thing about, he's got this good offensive line, he's got a great running game, and now they've got great receivers. So it was always about, will you pay this guy all this money to take up so much of your salary cap space because he's not making everybody else better and he's just leveraging the great. It's the Joe Flacco thing, right? Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl because he had the perfect situation around him. But then you get him in a situation that's different and he's not great. So do you pay a guy that's like Joe Flacco? And I think if we ever thought that Dak was in the Joe Flacco vein, this year tore that to bits.
Way better, Joe Flacco.
I felt like that this is a season where he opened a lot of eyes for guys that like myself that had, what about this and what about this? Nah, there's, I have the utmost respect for him and the people who like Dak Prescott. I wonder what this organization, the fact that they didn't get anything done 2 years ago and now he's in a mode. I know we had a caller talk about why the hell would he sign here? That's a fair point. He likes being here, but
he's made a lot of money as the endorser of the Dallas Cowboys.
Maybe he goes on somewhere and people appreciate him a little more.
Let me chest out my love.
Yeah, it's what did the caller just say? He said, "You don't know what you have until you don't have it anymore."
That's true.
Yeah, I was able to hit it right. Yeah. Internet speed is too low for it.
the fact that this team was kept alive, scoring 30-plus points a game without Zach, without Tyrod Smith and Lyle Collins.
Yeah, Collins, Frederick retiring. That people don't give that enough conversation either. Yeah, you think about all the losses they've had with this offensive line.
Cowboys will be on Sunday Night Football next week against the Philadelphia Eagles, unless they get flexed out of it. Doubt that they will, but we're on at 4 p.m. for the pregame show with Brian Broaddus and myself. Of course, thank you to all the great people that make.
Appreciate 105.3 The Fan. Y'all check them out, man. Wonderful platform, wonderful situation there for them. Let me know. You guys want to call in? Y'all want to talk? It's about, 5:56, so it's close to 6 o'clock. They wrapping it up over there. I really appreciate everybody who made the donation, those who followed the page, those who subscribed to the channel, all of you guys, man. For everybody who made the donation, man, this is for me. And everybody who watched the channel, and shout out to there's somebody over here, Aaron Lewis. Thank you for the Cash App drop, man. I really appreciate you for that support there. For everybody, let me give y'all this right.
This is Sparta!
Yeah. So I'm going to turn on the phone lines, and let me put some. There was a little delay right there with my fire. But you guys know, man, I give y'all all fire from here, man. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all. I really, 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 really do. When the phone line's open, let's try to get everybody that's want to call in probably about 2 minutes max, and then I'm going to have to cut you off. There's no waiting room in the phone line, right? So when you call, you might get the voicemail. That means somebody is on the line, but you can always leave a text message. You can always leave a voicemail message. Just don't put your phone number down, because I might play that voicemail message. Let me get it out of here. I might play that voicemail message, and I don't want to have your business out there. So let me get the number ready. Let me see if it's right there. Look at the bottom of your screen there. 682-214-4087 is the number. We're live here, so if you're watching on my Facebook, this is pre-recorded, so I'm not able to answer your call. I uploaded one time on Facebook, and people was like, hey, man, I'm calling you, man. You ain't picking up. I'm like, well, it's pre-recorded. That's why it's not live. But that's the phone line for your mind. Let me get this out the way. Let me slide this over just a little bit, so everybody, don't y'all call in once now. There we go. Let me slide this up. Yeah, for cosmetics. Yeah, let me do it like that. So y'all can see that number. That's the number. And we got a call. You're live on the Nation.
Nation, this is T-Bird. How you doing, man?
T-Bird, man. I'm doing okay, medium well right now.
Well, let me tell you something. I live in New Jersey, right? And I'm stuck between Eagles fans and Giants fans. Do you know what that's like, being a Dallas Cowboy fan for 45 years? Okay, and seeing what I'm seeing on the field right now. It makes me want to choke somebody. Talk me off this cliff.
Well, we got another quarterback that's going to start next week. Hopefully, he will be able to attack the edges. He's going to work out. I don't know. Maybe Andy, I guess, go through percussion protocol, but hopefully we will get a chance to see what this other young kid can do, Ben DiNucci, and hopefully we can get this offense going. And that's our only, I guess, thing that we can look for. Now, Jerry did say that he will be looking for some trades before the trade deadline of November the 3rd.
Right. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you up. So one more thing I got to say. Somebody got to go. Like the Sopranos say, somebody got to go.
Somebody got to go.
Thank you, All Nation, for taking my call, baby. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Ty. Yeah, appreciate a good call, man. Let me give him one of these. Yeah, 682-214-757. You're live.
Yo, what's going on, OG Law, man?
Oh, man, it's all good, man. Talk to me, man. You live on the Nation.
How you doing, man? This is Trey Kidney. Look, man, I just got 2 points I want to make, Law, man. I don't want you to disrupt it. One, this season felt worse than 2010-11 when we lost with the whole collarbone, and 2015 and 15. It's just we're basically losers.
Hey, you gonna have to call back, fam. We can't hear you, man. We can't hear you. I'll try to muscle through it, man, but I can't. We can't hear you,
right.
fam. Call back, man, and maybe we can get it out the way, man, from there, man. But I really appreciate you, brother. You gonna have to call back, man. Good call from him from what he was saying, but 682-214-4087 is the line for your mind, the hotline for your mind. 903. You're live.
What's up, love?
Nothing to it. Talk to me.
What's the use? I heard the guys say talk him off the ledge. Kill yourself for what, man? Come on, bro. We done been here before. We done been here before. I agree with old boy what he said. I'm glad he talked up to them. He should have. He right. You got to worry about now, not later.
Now.
We need to worry about now, not later. And this dude talking about talk him off the cliff. Why you gonna kill yourself? Kill yourself for what? Y'all better quit that stuff. Y'all better think about Jesus. Jesus more important than football team. Come on now. Talking about killing yourself? Come on now. Y'all can't do that. We done been here before. PVO, man. Get yourself, shake it off. We done been here before. We was, remember, 1-15? Come on now. We was 16? My bad, because it's 1-17 and you have an off time. My bad, to election. But anyway, come on now. We done been here before. And I told y'all all wanted him gone. They talk bad about this man, slander his name every day. Now you gonna have nobody. Y'all wanted the man to star before this man. I hope that man get over his concussion, but this is a part of football. Concussion it can kill you, man. Do you not know? I'm talking to you. They said I had one when I got ran off the road and my car flipped several times. They said I had bleeding on the brain, but God healed mine.
Amen.
And that's why I be praying about these people. You know, I don't get caught all up in it. I like watching it, but for as all this talking about killing yourself, man, I've been liking the team since I'm 43 years old. So all this talking about killing yourself and doing all this crazy stuff, y'all better get over yourself. Y'all better collect yourself and get back to Jesus. Because football is not everything. You got to live, honey.
Amen.
Y'all have a great day. And y'all, like he said, it's time to do some changing. I hope JJ ain't sitting up here paying these boys to sit there and play like trash when they're a talented team. They got a lot of talent, and they can play. So I hope he ain't call himself doing this stupid stuff, paying them to lose, because that don't look right. It don't look right from the fans, in the fans' eye from him. And everybody know how he is. They always talking about he a gambling man. All that. You don't gamble on your talent. You don't put them boys' life and health out there, and they get tore up and messed up for your game. People better collect themselves and get back to the basic and do what's right. That's all I got to say. But don't be talking out here talking about you're going to kill yourself. Get off the ledge and stop being foolish. Because you got life to live. Your children need you. And life go on after football.
That's what I'm talking about, Jay.
So y'all have a blessed day.
Hey, man, appreciate you for calling in. That's a good call, man. Let's give her. Y'all hear the sounds of the sirens. Don't kill yourself. You got a lot of life to live. It's much more than football, man. There's a lot of the stuff out there. And, I think that he was just talking about, talking off the ledge as it relates to just from the football arena, not from the actual killing himself. But let's go. 9-10, you in.
Now down.
Oh, my goodness, my dog. Yes, what I'm talking about.
Sister just went to church on this.
Yeah. Yes,
amen, sister.
Amen.
Y'all hold tight. It's life out here. It's called the off season. Well, I was giving my Cowboy. I'm in the DMV area. I'm in Virginia. It's a sad day around here. But it is. It's a cloudy day. And I was giving them an excuse because historically everybody got bad defenses now.
Yeah.
Whether college, pro, it's some suspect defense. But Law, let's talk about IQ. Right?
Yeah.
our coaching staff was hired sort of pre-quarantine, correct?
True.
And then we heard about these Zoom meetings and us gathering information about the scheme. I feel like physically we have some pieces, but mentally these boys not getting their playbook, man. They're not studying. You know, I'm from a basketball background, but for football, like if you do your job, everybody does their job, correct, Law?
Right. Chess pieces, yeah.
And it's chess pieces, correct? So if we doing Zooms and then you have the ability to watch film in your crib, correct? You have the ability to go back years and years of Mike Nolan having his games. You know, you could pick out your favorite player or that player who plays your position and just look at them, because Rex Ryan plays the same scheme. That this scheme is ran through multiple organizations in the NFL.
Right.
So I don't care about your excuses, Cowboys. I love y'all, but it just feels like, oh, y'all got that money, y'all got that check. You're like, all right, we about to be straight quarantine, but you're slacking on your knowledge, brothers. They slacking on taking time and going out to themselves and deep and diving in that film work, in that play work, in that playbook, because that is the difference between the great college players and the great pros. The physical aspect is there, but it's the mental. It's being 2 steps ahead of your opponent. Like clearly, even with when Logan Thomas caught the touchdown, like Jalen, he lost on that battle, but it was nobody there. It was nobody near him. And we had situations when we had four players on the ground doing a run play. And you screenshot it like old buddy from the Cardinals. Like he had a clear path. Like that was looking like Little League football. And I had to fall back on the coaching staff, you know, because they're doing their job. They're giving them information. And people is in their perspective like, okay, we now be able to practice, but we don't give you this knowledge. We don't give you this film work. We don't give you your assignments. Okay, it's up to you to gain that knowledge, then apply it. You know what our players are doing?
What they doing?
They're doing what these kids doing in virtual Zoom classes in the school system.
Yeah.
They playing Call of Duty. They playing 2K.
2K.
They playing Madden, trying to apply it to real life. So this is my calling to the Cowboys. Like, step your brain skills up. Step it up. It's not like we might be underprepared, but it's on you to over-prepare. That self-determination, that internal motivation.
Yeah.
What people can't rate you on that. Analytics can't do that.
Right.
You got to wake up 4 a.m. and have that mentality. Like, I'm going to get my work done in the film room. Then we don't go on the field. But collectively, this team needs to sit down, go to Jerry World, have a dinner. There's no camaraderie. There's no cohesiveness. I don't even feel like they're cool with each other.
They need to, I know it's COVID season. They need to have a players-only meeting, lock the door, weed out the person that said, whoever said to James Slater, weed them out, look them in the eyes and say, okay, look here, real talk.
That's why I don't want Earl there.
Yeah. That's what you got.
They don't want nobody calling nobody out.
Yeah, they don't want that. You know.
You feel me?
And you know what?
You feel me, Law?
I was mad last year when it leaked out that Tyron Smith fell asleep. Well, not Tyron Smith. I'm sorry. Tristan Hill fell asleep into the defensive room. You know what?
That was Woods, man.
Yeah, you should never
That
let
was
that leak
Woods.
out. That was.
I mean,
I'm
I'm just guessing, whatever. But it's eternal hate there. You know, Jalen, he was looking for Sean Lee's spot.
Right.
Correct. And then he got him in a position. I'm like, yo, Leighton Van Der Esch is kind of better than you. And if you're not with him, you kind of suspect.
True.
I know our defensive backs don't like each other. Because that's one unit. Like, it's like basketball. You got to be together. You got to have your communication right. It got to be nonverbal most of the times.
Yeah. Man,
you know, our defensive line, they in public, they say they cool. We the hot boys, correct?
Yeah.
But on the field, they're not sacrificing for each other. They're not sacrificing each other for them stunts. They're not communicating well.
Setting the edge, bro. They ain't doing the simple thing. Set the edge.
They're not doing the simple things. And me being a psychology major, who is the therapist in this organization? Our owner need therapy. His son need therapy. And these players, they have no cohesionness. And they get mad at us when we bring it back to Jimmy. Jimmy had them boys vying for each other. They was vying for each other. They was vying for Jimmy. But most importantly, they knew the importance of that star. It was like, man, we've been dreaming about this. We've been dreaming about this. But it starts at the top. Big Game James been telling y'all, the curse is real. Jerry fired Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson. The only two coaches who have won Super Bowls. Until Jimmy Johnson's name is in that oval, shit, it's going to be real. It's going to continue. Our team has to realize, we got the money. We have the exposure. But to be a champion, like, y'all all have to bribe each other thick and thin. It's no cliches no more. Finish the fight. No, it's no more cliches. Y'all have to ride with each other. I don't know if it's for y'all to go to Valley Ranch for a couple of days, but I feel like especially for the past 10 years, our team don't like each other. And when DeMarcus Ware left, that's when everything hit the fan. That's when the internal became external. And I don't blame Jane Slater because she's a Cowboys fan. She Texas born, Texas bred. Yeah. But she got to let the fans know, like, they don't believe in the coach. But more importantly, they keep on making excuses. You know?
Man,
and that's my time. I know I was long, Cowboy Nation.
I let you talk because you one of those elites over here, man. But go ahead, Don. Go ahead. Let them know. Man. I like the way you're close.
Yeah, we have to let them know, Cowboy Nation. You know, and everybody going in the edge. And hey, Cowboy Nation, say a prayer for Amar Holmes.
Yeah.
Come on. That's one thing about us, man. We get too emotional. We love our team. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's mind over matter, man. It can't disturb your peace.
You're right, that mind.
At the end of the day, Jerry Jones showed us draft night. He's shining on us on quarantine, man. He brought that $250,000 billion yacht.
Yeah.
While the people in the streets are starving.
Yeah.
But Cowboy Nation, like, cool your temper. And send good energy to this team. Because that's what the league wants. Everybody hate us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hate us. But we can't lose our cool because I have analyzed my team so long. When we have a hiccup, everything crumbles. You could take one rock out that pyramid and it would crumble. And that should not be, you know? And that shows that our foundation is not right. Our stars
appreciate you, Don.
are not leaders.
Get in, but appreciate you, fam.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
Don for your mind.
Yes,
peace.
Mind. That's my dog, man. Don, man. Don, man. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Some people said my mic was too low. Still taking calls. 347. You're live. Talk to
Hello?
me. You're live on the Nation.
Yeah, Lord Nation. What's going on, King? How you doing, brother?
Man, nothing to it.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, Jerry Jones, man. He got to go. I've been a Cowboy fan since I was 15, and now I got 3 kids and a dog, and it's bad, man. Like, Lord, I want to ask you a question, man. Seriously, why are we $1 billion franchise, worth $1 billion, and we got players that's playing they $5 worth of $5 each? It's horrible, man. I don't know, man. It comes down to the point I don't even know if I'm gonna live to see another championship. That's how bad it is. I know I'm talking far fetched, but Jerry Jones, man, he's a big con artist, man. He's a big con. The Joneses don't know how to run a team. They don't know how to run a team. And I want to ask you one question, Law. How you feel about trading players like Cooper for 2 first rounders? Just give me an intake. What can we do? See, I'm even stuttering. That's how upset I am.
No, you good, man. You got to have a dancing partner, though. And right now, the tape doesn't exemplify that you can get 2 first-round draft picks for a Cooper right now. So you got to find a dancing partner, and that ship didn't sell. I think that Cooper, from right now, from what this game is, he's the only wide receiver that showed up this game. So he's your best asset right now, and he's signed with a contract, $20 million a year. So they made their bed with that. The only tradable asset that you probably have is Gallup, and I'm not with the fanfare of trading Gallup. You just have to weather the storm right now until you get a real quarterback back there and maybe some pieces on the offensive line to establish something on the offense. I think that it's quicker to build an offensive line, or quicker to build an offense opposed to the defense. So I'm looking for the Cowboys this week to make some type of move to help out the offensive line, and maybe some type of move to help out the quarterback situation.
Yeah, that's you. That's you, Law. See, you're a genius. This is the problem. Jerry Jones don't listen to guys like you. He is stubborn. He is stubborn in his ways, man. It's horrible how stubborn. We don't need to go into history. Law Nation, you're a smart guy. We don't even know how you have to go into the history of the Cowboys. It's been going on for years. We are 26 years going and no championship. This is bad, man.
Appreciate you for calling in, though, man. But I really appreciate the call, man. I got to let somebody else come in.
I appreciate what you do for the culture, and thank you, man.
Appreciate you, King.
All right, you too, King. All right, brother.
From 347, man. Good call, man. His 3 kids and a dog, man. Hopefully the 3 kids can see the next Super Bowl. Hopefully he will be able to see the next Super Bowl. It's just one of those things, man. All right, so 682-214-4087, 912. You're next. You're live. Talk to me.
347, man. Good call, man.
Turn your radio down. You're live on the Nation.
What's up?
Nothing to it, brother. How you living?
What's going on, Law?
Nah, it's one day at a time over here, man. What you got for the show?
Hey, check this out. I've got a question, man. What do Cowboy fans expect, man, with a bunch of backups? What we really supposed to do? You see what I'm saying? Everybody crying, man, like they expect the team to go out there and win games. The game is won and lost in the trenches. You know that, right, Law?
Yeah, my only thing is I think what people are mad and upset about is on the defensive side. We're not that damaged on the defensive side. I think we got the front 4. Yes, we missed McCoy, but we never had McCoy. And I think that's what we are looking at as far as the secondary play and the linebacker play. At least the defense should show up and show us something. I can give the offense a little pass here, especially as it relates to the offensive line. But the offensive line is kind of porous right now. Ezekiel Elliott need to step it up a little bit more. Go ahead.
Yeah, but with Dak, we barely had a puncher's chance with Dak. With Dak Prescott, you see what I'm saying? Now he gone. You see what I'm saying? he gave the defense with a little life that they had. You see what I'm saying? But not that
now,
gone, so
let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though, and you bringing up some valid points. If the aficionados, and I know it's got an if game, and I know it's kind of like excuses, but if they don't call that PI on the opening day game, we win that game, would you have a different feeling about what Dak Prescott left this team from? Would we be like 3-1 at the time, or 3-2 when he got injured, what have you? Would you have a different vibe or a different feeling of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went toe-to-toe with the Seattle Seahawks. I want to call them Sea Chickens, but, he went toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah.
So this whole season could be flipped around, right?
It's been Dak. Dak is all we had this whole season. So when he went down, the shit went down. Cowboy fans need to realize that. You see what I'm saying? You always say building the airplane in the air, right?
Right.
You love that phrase, right?
Right.
Hey, it's time to come down and let's build this thing right from the ground. You see what I'm saying? Cowboy fans need to get ready for next season, man. Quit crying, man. What's done is done. You see what I'm saying? I look at the schedule, Law. Would you be surprised if we don't win another game the rest of the season? The game is look at the schedule and say, okay, Cowboys O-line got an advantage over this team, or Cowboys D-line got an advantage over that team. I can't see it. I would not be surprised if they lose every game the rest of this way.
Now,
and it's going to be for the better.
If they make a few moves, like I'm always optimistic on this, and I hate to say lose it all the way out. If they pick up the phone, call Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I don't want to see them lose, but we got to come to the realization. We need to wake up, man. We need to wake up and see what's really in front of us, man. Like that is garbage out there. That is hot garbage out there each and every Sunday. They can't beat nobody with those lines, man. It is crazy. Teams that's averaging 10 points. Teams that's averaging 10 points getting 30 on us easy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how bad it is, dog. Like it's horrible out there, man.
Yeah, it's atrocious, man. I really appreciate you for calling in from the 912, man. I'm gonna give you a war call.
Thanks for taking my call, though.
Anytime, bro.
This is Sparta!
Great points, man. We can't get mad at the sky for being blue, but we got to stay true to ourselves. And I agree with what he's saying, but I still think that we still have a puncher's chance. Yes, we building the plane while it's in the air, but a great GM, a great owner will figure out ways to make this thing triculate. Maybe you go out there and make a trade move for a Ryan Fitz. Maybe you do something down the line to make another deal to get an offensive lineman in the house. 469, you're live.
Hello?
You're live on the Nation. 469. Speak your mind.
Man, well, just really watching this season. I'm not really shocked at what's going on. The O-line couldn't block Aaron Donald week 1.
Right.
The O-line couldn't block those guys in Atlanta week 2. The O-line has been the issue. And also, DeMarcus Lawrence is just, I don't know where he's went. The $100 million man, I feel like he plays only well when it's time for him to get a big check. And that's the problem. Jerry Jones needs to go out and get guys who know their role and know how to do it. And then not only that, I'm watching the game today, and Kyle Allen has so much time in the pocket. It's like, dude, like Mike Nolan got to send, some blitzes or something at him, to get him out of his rhythm, But to be honest, I haven't lost hope yet. I still think we can do it. But that's all I wanted to say, man.
Man, great call from you, 469. You spoke the truth right there. Appreciate you.
This is Sparta!
469, man, great point. We just not playing like our butts on fire, right? Racing lizards is what Rob Marinelli can say. And the defense, collectively speaking, don't have injuries all over the field. Yes, we can talk about the secondary, but the front four is pretty much healthy, right? 817, you're live.
Hello, am I on the air?
Yeah, you're live on the air.
Okay, I just wanted to tell y'all something that I work in a very high-end restaurant in Frisco, Texas, near the Star, and I just wanted to say some things I've personally seen Mr. Jerry Jones do that are just very unsettling. This man is an absolute human piece of garbage. I've just heard him make comments to staff and other people at the facility. I'm not going to name the restaurant I work at, but goddamn, he's a piece of shit. I've heard him make some of the most rude remarks to women and minorities, and he needs to go. He's a piece of shit, and fuck like Nolan.
Man, great call, man. Great call. Let me give him a warning.
This is Sparta!
There's no stretch to my imagination that he going around and eating that food that's out there in those high-end restaurants, and he treat those staff like nothing. 267, you're live on the Nation.
Hey, Law Nation, what's up?
Oh, it's your world.
Jay from Philly, man.
Philly, what's good with you, man?
Oh, man. Just, can you imagine what my work week going to be like?
Stand
down here
tall,
with these
man.
Philly fans, man.
Yeah,
I know.
you're the heart of it.
I'm always defending my Cowboys. But when I'm looking at these games, I'm questioning our players' hearts. They don't seem like their heart is into the game. When you look at every other team, you see them flying around to the ball, getting in players' face, talking smack, playing football. But it seems like we're just lackadaisy and just going about our business. Oh, we missed a tackle, we get up, we're running back to the huddle. No, where's the coaches at? Getting in the players' face, telling them, hey, get your block, do your assignment, sit down for a second. You see none of that. It seems like everything is acceptable. What do you see?
I see the exact same thing. The most heart that I saw was at the last minutes of the game or the last seconds of the game. Antoine Woods got into the face of the opposition and got into the face of the Dorrance Armstrong as well. And I said, where's that fire for the whole 60 minutes, not for the 59th minute at the tip of the minutes of the seconds of the game? So this team got zero leadership. I don't like the fact that Ezekiel Elliott came out earlier this week and said, I want to be a leader. Newsflash, you are the leader. You're getting paid $90 million. I don't like whoever leaked what was leaked out of there. I don't like that at all. I think that they need a players-only meeting before they even practice, and they need to lock everybody in the room and chin check everybody. That's what needs to be done.
Exactly. Can you understand our players of old? Looking at this team, the Michael Irvins of the world, the Emmitt Smith, the Leon Letts of the world, the Charles Haley. That's a laughing stock. Remember, we had to earn that star in practice. You got to earn that star. It seems like nobody wants to earn the star. It seems like we're all just out there playing for the money. Do you want to win? Do you want to win? And I'm sitting here and I'm just watching it. Look at the product on the field that they're giving to the fans. I'm watching you all the time, watching other YouTubers. We getting hyped up for the week. Yes, defending our team, talking smack, talking trash. And then it seems like they got to put us back into a shell.
We do more fighting for them than they do fighting on the field.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. I'm more hyped than them than before they run out there. There's no. You remember there used to be a guy that used to smash everybody's helmets together. He used to just almost knock himself out of the game from another team. I forgot what team, but we don't see that action. We don't see the passion I meant to say out there on the field, and we just a bunch of babies right now.
Exactly. So that's why they got to understand why we're screaming for players like a Earl Thomas or a Snacks Harrison. We're screaming for those players because we know they bringing that tenacity. They want to bring that fire, that spark. Why do you think we always wanted Des Bryant back? Because those are dogs. It seems like we got the choir boys.
Look, fam, I used to fight my brothers every time we play basketball or pick up football. We fight, fisticuffs. I'm talking about cussing each other out. My mom would try to kill us if she heard what we said to one another. But guess what? We didn't fight the opposing team. We fought each other because we knew where we supposed to be at. How you missed that shot? We held everybody accountable. But guess what? We loved each other. We was back out there the next day, and we did those things out there. I think that the storyline that when Earl Thomas punched whoever was in the wrong position, hey, that comes with football. And I think that the Cowboys need somebody to punch somebody in the face over there because we seeing too many blown coverages. We seeing too many lackadaisies as it relates to tackling. This is going on record. All of these guys' names will be in the history book, not for a good thing, but for a bad thing. Being the worst Cowboys defense in history and also being the worst defense in NFL history since the 60s and the 40s almost.
Sad,
fam.
It's sad. I got all these Eagles trolls on my line. 26 years and counting. laughing, and I'm trying to defend my boys. And what am I defending? What am I defending?
Good
I'm
luck.
I'm standing tall though. I'm
Stand
standing
tall, though, man.
because I'm listening to cats like you, all the time and stuff like that, feeding me the knowledge, something that I'm missing, because I'm a facts guy. Then I go back to them and everything. So I'm just standing there looking like, where's y'all heart? I'm standing there looking at the TV like, are we serious?
Yeah.
We can't be serious. This is what we come to.
Yeah,
I mean, when I remember one time, Dez Bryant got so upset because we was losing. He slamming his helmet, he going crazy on the side, and DeMarcus Ware had to grab me, and choke him up.
I'm gonna say this before I let you go. The only person that was barking at everybody, a few plays later, he got laid out on the field, and nobody came to his rescue. Nobody. But a few plays earlier, he was barking at everybody. So I guess they felt kind of like hurt. Their feelings was hurt. It's a shame. But appreciate you for calling in,
My
brother.
man, Law. No problem. Anytime.
All right. Salute. Good call from the 267, man. They need to chin check everybody, man. I agree with Mike McCarthy. The response wasn't there. I don't agree with these guys are kids. These guys have been playing NFL for a minute, right? They collecting checks, or they've been playing football for a minute, right? In college land and beyond, and in high school and middle school. Fight. I don't care if it's your backup or the backup. You fight. 757, you're live.
Yeah, man. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it's week 6. We got to cut Xavier Woods. He needs to be the first example. There's no reason that you ever, if you get paid millions of dollars, you never come out live and say that we're going to play, that we don't have the energy to play 100% of the time of the game. Even if it is true, you can't say that. He has to be the first example. Next example, I might have to bench Jalen Smith.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a leg from college. I don't know if that's the case, but he continuously gets pushed back. And there was a run at the end of the game where he was running towards the sideline, and the running back is up the gut, like 20 yards down the field. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He doesn't know what he's doing out there with the rest of the defense. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm not too mad at the offense. I understand everything that's going on the offense. We are just hurt over there. But that defense, I'm questioning, do guys even want to play? Like, I'm taking exactly what Xavier Woods said to heart. And, like, I'm like, he's looking like, the players are looking like, oh, we're not trying to play hard 100% of the time. That's exactly what they look like.
Right.
That
exactly
Trayvon,
look like that.
It looks exactly like what he said, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So that's why he has to go first. That's Trayvon Diggs, man. I don't know.
Well, my thing is with Trayvon Diggs. Now, I'm not defending him or what have you, but I want the young kid. He's getting a whole bunch of valuable lessons right now. You know, he's all over the place. He's playing hero ball, especially on that deep pass to the young kid. I can't wait to pull up the All-22 to see if he's supposed to have over-the-top safety help, and he's just trying to make a play, thinking that it's going to be a hitch or a comeback or something of that nature, or a quick out or something. But he bit down, and I'm telling you, he got taught a lesson. Now, there goes to show you that there was still no safety over the top. And if I'm calling up, if I'm drawing up plays, just naturally speaking, Scary Terry, he didn't get the name Scary Terry because he's not scary, right? He's scary, meaning that you got to have somebody over the top at all times. You got to make sure that you either bracket him or you got some type of safety over the top helping. But I digress. I can't really call it out yet until I see the All-22. Matter of fact, that would be my first film that I'll look at. I'll try to find that particular clip to see what happened.
We got to find that out, man. I'm just I'm so hurt at this defense, man. I'm just like, Mike Nolan need to just go back to the basics, man. Like, literally just call a cover 3. Literally just call a cover 2. I don't even want to see. I just want to see if guys even know what that means. That's it, man.
But even on that, they got to set that edge. But I really appreciate you, fam, for calling in.
They got to set the edge. Yes, sir, man. You have a nice day, man.
You as well.
Cowboys Nation, baby.
Appreciate you. Good call from the 757, man. Y'all keeping it good, man. Under 2 minutes. I really appreciate you guys knowing that other callers want to call in and spit their mind. So I really appreciate it. 682-214-4087. That's the hotline. Mods, if y'all can repost that number for me, man, that would help me out tremendously. For those who want to call in, 409, you're live. You're live on the Nation 409.
Hey, what's up, Bob?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me.
Hey, brother, this is a cultural thing. Be honest with you, this has been this way for 25 years. Jerry set this culture of money over production on the field, and that's just what you're seeing out there. The players do the same thing. They make the same decision to do the same thing. Jalen Smith is the epitome of that. Got signed, and then first thing you want to talk about is clear eye view or something like that. Glasses or whatever. These guys are playing for contracts, and they're not playing for, for winning. They're playing just for contracts and just trying to get endorsements and revenue that they can bring in because that's what the owner does. So it's been this way for a while, and that's what we expect. Things aren't going to change at the top, but what you have to do is get a coach in here, and I don't know if Mike McCarthy is this guy, but you got to get somebody here to change this culture first. That's what the issue is. Yeah. And one of the things too, I'll go to this, is that one thing they told me last year that kind of stood out. I don't know if you heard this, but they said that when Crawford left, it wasn't just his on field ability that they lost. They also lost leadership, and it made me wonder, well, what Jalen Smith and what Tank, what are they? You're the highest paid guys. Shouldn't y'all be leaders? And so, and then what put on top of that, and what clarified that to me is when Bennett came in, and 2 weeks later, he's a speaker of the defense. I was like, well, how does this guy come in and be the speaker of the defense? He wouldn't do that in Baltimore. He wouldn't do that in New England. That's because there's a void left. We don't have any leaders there. We got guys that's out there for themselves at this point in time. And it's showing up on the field. We have no cohesiveness. Everybody's their own contract player. They're playing for themselves, and they're just not playing as a team. Jalen Smith, man, I've been watching these Cowboys for a long time. And I told my son the other day, I said, I'm going to say something. He said, what? I said, Jalen Smith is my most disliked Cowboy ever. And he's like, ever? I say, yeah, ever. And he said, why? I say, because Jerry got this guy the second round as a Jerry pick. I say, so the guy came in the second year. He wasn't ready to go. His feet, he's still not running correct. But Jerry pushed him out there. And then Jerry said, okay, he had a good year, right? And then Jerry said, we're going to sign this guy to a long-term deal. Well, what that was is Jerry, the owner, stamping Jerry, the GM. And that's where that problem comes in at right there, because really, man, Jalen really shouldn't even be on the roster at this point in time. Lateral movement, you watch all 22, man, lateral movement is just not there. If anybody runs up and out or up and in a two-way go on him as a running back, he can't stop him because he can't move side to side. He's cheating on plays and holes and everything else. And so he really epitomizes this team. He is the poster boy for what's wrong with this team. Now, one thing, let's go back to leadership, because we're not even talking X's and O's right now. We'll go back to, if you look back at what happened really is the leader of this team was Dak Prescott. And when he's gone, it's over, man. And you can see the heart of this team left. And when the heart leaves after one player leaves, that means you have no solid ground. That means it was really a house of cards. So you mean to tell me this one guy leaves and we have nobody else to step up in that void and say, hey, we got to get this thing together. We have nobody to stand up, and so this team is really fragile mentally. And all these leaks and stuff from the players, and Jerry's trying to downplay it.
Boy, you got some.
Hey, Jerry,
you good.
And James Slater is just legitimate, man. And she don't even want to put this stuff out, but the players gave it to her to put it out, right? And that's what they did. And so that's kind of some in the street, what we call that kind of stuff. And so, that's kind of some old weak stuff to me, man. Look here, go do your job better. Lord, you watch the film, and I coach youth football, man. And the first thing a defensive end's responsibility is contain. And I heard you say it before, too, man. These guys are terrible at their first fundamental thing, containing. And what they do is they're just misdirectioning us and having those guys crash down and even go outside of them. Do your job. If everybody does their job, then everybody's trying to play hero ball, trying to get their stats up, because remember, it's individual again. Yeah. And so, but these guys are, man, if anybody out there, man, y'all got the extra money, get that all 22. If you think this game is bad, looking at it live, and Lord, you could stamp this. It's even worse looking at it all 22. where you can back up and you say, what that guy doing? Or what this guy doing? God, that guy, if he just does his job, then we stop him. And so, even on and so just this team is in disarray. So when anybody say, like, hey, we need to go get Fitzpatrick, please don't do anything to try to save this season. Like a guy said before, man, our offensive line is decimated. I'll give you that, and that's true. Our defensive line's not playing good. Man, if you can't win the offensive line, you can't win the defensive line, don't get anybody that's going to come in here and win us 5 games. I'm sorry. Don't do that. Nah. Hey, look here. Let us go lose this thing out.
But, Coach, my mindset, I'm always trying to fight, though. I'm saying, look, get a puncher's chance at it. But I feel exactly what you're saying, Just
because see, even if we make
out,
That's right. That's even if we make the playoffs, we're not going anywhere. And man, Lord, you're old enough to know this here, man. Really, in Dallas, I know some of these younger guys don't know. Man, we used to be about championship games and Super Bowls, and if we're not getting that, then it's a bad season. And so man, this year here is pretty much gone. But one thing I would say, I want to see some evaluate. You take this time to evaluate the young players. See what you have on that offensive line. See what you got in that secondary. See who's going to be there for the long haul. And, one of the things that when Jimmy came over, who is my favorite coach because he changed the culture, and you remember that probably. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, Law. He came and changed that culture. But what he had Michael Irvin in there to come and tell him. The year before he got there, Mike came and told him, he gave him a list of people who was just there for the salary.
Oh, yeah.
And Jimmy weeded those guys and got it. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah,
he got those guys out of there. Mike said, these guys here, they don't want to play for number of paychecks. Say, these guys want to play. You want to keep these guys, or you want to let these guys go? One of the things that, I don't know if you remember this, but what Parcells did, Parcells brought in about 4 or 5 guys from his old team just to bring the culture over. And so it was guys that was just kind of over their prime, running backs and stuff like that. And you say, well, why is this guy coming in? He's trying to bring his culture over, and he can't do it himself. Mike McCarthy brought no one over from his old times. And so the culture is not set, and they can't go into those, like when you're in a defensive lineman room and they in that whine, and he said, no, man, this is what Mike wants you to do. This is how Mike does it. This is how Mike wants you to do. No, what he's expecting, this is his expectations. And that guy can set the room because people going to look at him and say, yeah, he played for Mike for 5 years, so he knows what the coach wants. And so in the defensive back room and the running back room and things of that sort, so he has nobody in there. And these guys in here whining about, and I don't want to hear anybody say anything about, man, it was better with Jason Garrett. Dude, this is about mediocrity. That's like getting I made a 58 on the test. Well, I made a 40, but I was making a 50. Dude, they both failing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't about about 58.
I appreciate you for calling in, man. Man, so much insight, so much information. I'm gonna give you a war call, fam. Really appreciate you, Coach.
All right, brother. You take it easy, man.
Yes, indeed, man. That's a good call from Coach, man. Oh my goodness, that's a good call, man. 682-214-4087. Let some more people call in. Coach, man, he really brought some points, some fire, man, and desire to everything that we need to permeate in our minds. He spit his mind out on everything. The guy that's pointing the finger is the issue right now. 843, you're live on The Nation.
Yo, Law, what's going on, man?
Nothing to it, fam. Talk to me.
Man, I hear a lot of people talking about Jalen Smith and the linebacking core, but he's not the only one playing bad back there.
True.
I think you made it in a video. I think last year sometime you said he's not good in trash. Either LVE, and we've seen that game after game. Our defensive front is not handing the offensive lineman across to them. They get upfield blocking our linebackers. Nothing we can do. We've seen this last year before that. We don't have those thumper linebackers like the Rolando McClains and stuff like that. So we can't handle that. So we need to try to find a way to go back to the old defense this attack upfield. Because right now, this holding and reacting, that's not us, man. We're not getting it done like that. I don't know what's wrong with this coaching staff. We're waiting around trying to see if it's going to change, but it's not going to change, man.
Yeah, his scouting report and LVE scouting report is disengaging. Once the bodies get on them, it's hard for them to disengage. And that scouting report was before, of course, the injury on Jalen. So it's even probably worse now. And we don't have anybody as far as big bodies, to clog the line. Yes, two-gap system is okay, but they ain't making nothing. And shout out to my dog, Justin Hamilton. He's showing some effort, but he can't do it by himself as well, So that Jalen, even though he's not all of the issue, but he's a major part of the issue. And my only thing is with Jalen, he should never went to the media and spoke openly about, hey, this is a difficult defense. That's the last thing you want your quote-unquote leader to say, because it shatters the confidence and within the confines of this organization. And it also provides some level of, okay, the reason why we are playing the way we're playing is because of coach. And we can look when we turn on the film, we're seeing effort being missing out there, and that's one thing that the players ultimately control. Whether or not it's something that they just don't know how to do, but dog it, they can at least provide the level of effort, and that's why we look at this game, and that's why I think that's why majority of us are kind of mad and upset with the defensive side being historically bad.
And teams seeing that, they're putting the information out. Their teams, they listening to that, they know what to attack. They see what our problems are. And Jalen talking about it is not helping.
Right.
And to the offensive line, man, Terrence Steele is horrible, man.
Oh,
this
my
dude is
goodness.
trash.
They got to see that
this
by
is
now.
Horrible.
They got to, yeah.
You can't run nothing his way. You can't pass block his way. I mean, what else you going to do?
I want to know what kind of tapes he got on somebody over there. He must got something, on those guys that keep putting him out there, and we're not making the phone calls or doing something to get somebody else out there, because he's bad. We capital B-A-D.
Yeah, man.
What else you got for the show, fam?
We want to keep us saying, man, we love you, man. Keep pushing out your content, man.
Appreciate you. I'm going to give you another call, man, from here. Yeah, war call.
This is Sparta!
Good call from him, man. Let me see, 682-214-4087 is the number. That's the hotline for your mind. Speak your mind. We talking. We getting everything off our chest. Flames and everything. We'll keep it really short. So what I'm going to do now is once the 2 minutes hit, regardless of the conversation, I'm going to play the horn. 843, you're live.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing to it, man. Turn your radio down. Let's get it down. Let's go. What you got for the show?
Yeah, I'm really calling because, man, I've been a fan ever since I was 10 years old, and I am just disgusted at the play that we are playing right now. I really feel like our linebacking core, we were best when we were at a 3-4 instead of this 4-3. Mike has brought this defense in, and he's made these schemes so hard for these guys. These guys are not built to handle the 4-3. We don't have those type of guys.
Our safeties, like the 3-4, right? Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. They're not built to handle that. Our safeties are not built to handle that. Diggs, I give him a lot of compliments. I think this young man, this young kid, is exciting to watch, and he's got a great upside. But safety-wise, strong safety, free safety, we don't have anybody back there.
Right.
And this comes from Jerry Jones. Basically, you've got guys like Earl Thomas, 7-time Pro Bowler. You've got Eric Berry out there. You've got, all these great guys out here, and we're scared to pull the triggers on these guys because we're talking about attitudes or character. Well, I remember the times where you were able to come get these guys and bring these guys into the fold, and that character issue was just null and void once they got to the Cowboys, because we set a precedent that meant that, hey, you were that star, you represent the Cowboys. Now we got a bunch of girls out here that just want to just blame everybody for what they're doing on the field. It's unbelievable.
Facts over here, man, for the 843. Man, really appreciate you, bro. You hit it right on the head.
I mean, I don't understand.
All right, so it's 2 minutes straight, man. Now, from here, 682-214-4087. If I cut you off, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but you got 2 minutes to call in. It's the 2-minute drill, baby. Let me put some fire emojis out here, man. It's 2-minute calls right now, man. 2 minute. Yeah, rapid fire call. If y'all see that fire, it's going to be straight up 2 minutes, man. So when you call in, 682-214-4087. It's the hotline for your mind. 908, talk to me.
What's going on? This is Big Pain, man. Eagles Nation, man.
Big Pain, talk to me, man. Y'all team, y'all won this last Thursday, what have you. You beat the Giants. Congratulations, you get a cookie. So now you got to play against us. Your quarterback, y'all say he's elite, so he should at least put up 400, right?
Yeah, he put up around like 358.
Talk to me, Big Pain, representative of the Eagles.
I remember I came in at the top of the season and I said that we gonna win the division because of coaching and front office, and it's coming to light again. And one thing I can say is that I ain't gonna be too long on it, but Jerry Jones. One thing I can say is that he should have paid Dak Prescott, and I hate to say it, back when Goff and Wentz got paid. And the reason why I'm saying that is a lot of people don't understand you can't restructure those franchise tag deals. So even if Dak Prescott was paid right now and he was to get hurt, y'all would be able to restructure to help the team out. Y'all can't even restructure that $32 million. So right now, y'all just stuck in a hole with that. Whereas though next year, the quarterback's going to be getting paid $41 and Wentz is going to be getting paid $32. Now, Dak Prescott see how bad the team is without him. He's going to want that same $42. And people say the quarterbacks messed the cap up, but the GM messed the cap up. So people could say what they want about Goff or Wentz, but them dudes actually going to end up restructuring for their team because they got paid when they were supposed to. So y'all going to have a problem for some years with that. That's my take on it.
Yeah, man, you 1,000% right on it. And then even before the TV deal is up, they can still restructure. They can come back and approach their particular owner and say, okay, we lived up to this particular moment, and we want some of this TV deal. And then they can go back in and rewrite the contract to fit or solidify the TV deal. So you're right. You're right. You speaking finances 101, man. Yeah, appreciate you for calling in, Big Pain. Give you a war call as well. Big Pain, Eagles Nation, if there's ever such a thing, right? 682-214-4087 is the hotline to get in. It's the fire line. Let's go with it. Rapid fire, 682-214-4087. Really appreciate everybody that's calling in, that's a part of this network, that's a part of this channel, helping me grow. Let's subscribe, hit that like button, share this thing up. 972, you got 2 minutes. You're on the hotline. Talk to me.
Yeah, I got two questions. Number one, real quick, what are your thoughts on trading Tony Pollard? Because this is what, his second year. I don't really think we have much use for him. We can get you think a third round, fourth round?
If you can squeeze a third and a fourth out of him, especially if you're not utilizing him and you're depending on Ezekiel Elliott, if you can get draft capital out of it, yeah. If you want to do a player-for-player situation, that could be possible too, especially if you want to look at the defensive side of the ball. But right now, Tony Pollard is the only reason why we got 3 points on the board today. So I feel what you're saying, but that's a good question there.
And then real quick, where was Randy Gregory? Because I didn't hear his name the whole broadcast.
He came in on third downs, but the opposing team was running the ball so well that he was limited. And when he did came out, I saw him washed in on one play. So he still got his player legs up under him. Hopefully next week he'll be ready to play against the Eagles, which he normally play well against.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the time.
Man, thank you as well. Good call, man. Yeah. A good call from 972, man. Real good call. Good thoughts about that. How y'all feel about Tony Pollard, man, being traded? Y'all let me know. 401, you're live.
Yes.
You're live on the Nation.
Oh.
Talk to me, man.
Hey, man, I got a question for you, right? The strength and conditioning team on this team, the coaching staff, how long have they been together over here? Like close to a decade, right?
Strength and conditioning team. This is his first year. I forgot his name. Y'all can post it in the chat. I thought I saw Miss Scout and Pro in the chat box. She probably know. And if Jay Form is here, this is his first year. They got rid of Mike Rohrstick. I think that's his name last year. So this is his first year. The strength and conditioning.
So they got rid of them. So this is just their first year. Okay, so that blows up my whole argument. Okay. I'm just wondering why, every single year, our best players are always hurt. They can't stay on the field. I know injuries are part of the game, but, it seems like on this team, none of our best players every single year can ever be on the field. All right, but that kind of blows up my whole argument. All right, never mind.
I feel you, bro. Appreciate you calling in. That's 401, man. Appreciate the rapid phone call. Yeah, his argument was the strength and conditioning, and then when I put that out there, you're like, let me go ahead and leave then. But appreciate you for calling in. 682-214-4087, rapid phone call. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go with the fire. I'm in the fire. I'm on the hot seat over here. It's hot. Yes, indeed. 682-214-4087. We got 256. You in the mix. You're live on the Nation.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Talk to me. You got 2 minutes.
I actually got 3 trade ideas, and I want to get your opinion to see which one you like the most.
Okay.
Trade idea number 1, Rick Jackson from Denver.
Okay.
Trade idea number 2, C.J. Mosley from the New York Jets to replace Jalen Smith. I like Jalen Smith, but I feel like he needs to play more of.
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down just a little bit. Turn the YouTube down if you're listening to me through via the YouTube. Yeah, but go ahead.
Sir, I'm so sorry.
No, you good.
And trade idea number 3, Landon Collins.
Okay, I think Landon probably be out for a couple of games here. Who's the first guy? You said Jackson, but I didn't catch his first name. What was his first name?
The safety from Denver.
Justin Simmons.
Yes.
I think that he probably be a good chess piece right now since the Denver Broncos, I think that they lost today. That could be a situation where we can bring him in for a cup of coffee. It's just the fact that who you're going to have the dancing partner with, because it's going to be anywhere from, 12 to 13 mil. And if they want to trade for something like that, I think it's going to cost some draft picks. So I don't know. I don't know, but I like the CJ situation from the Jets. I think that's his name, CJ. I think that he would be better perceived, but the Dallas Cowboys, the contract does not allow us to entertain trading Jalen. And on top of that, of course, they would know that knee probably or that foot will probably not check out.
Also, I got an opinion on a backup quarterback that may be worth something.
Who's that?
Why not get A.J. McCarron? He did a good job filling in for the Bengals when Andy Dalton was out. What's your opinion on getting A.J. McCarron possibly, or probably scouting Mac Jones for the future if they don't want to resign Jack from Alabama?
I don't know. I'll have to look up some independent tape on that and get back with you on that one. But I do know I do like to entertain with Ryan Fitz. I do like the entertainment of Jameson Winston. I do like the entertainment of those guys. But I'll do some homework and see what we can do from there. But I appreciate you for calling in. That was a good call for the 256, man. You guys call in 682-214-4087. Good call. I like some objective thoughts. I do like to brush, opinions too. Let me take this fire off me, man. That fire gets me too hot. There we go. Cowboy Nation, let's go. 956, you in the mix. You're live. All right, let's go. 817, you're live. You're live, 817.
Hey, thank you for taking my call, Law.
Anytime, friend.
Well, what I gotta tell you is, our defense we was 1-15 was a whole lot better than the defense that we have right now. I mean, I just don't understand. I look at this year as an experiment. I knew this year was going to be right from the get-go. I knew 2020 wasn't going to be right from the get-go. So when I looked at it, I'm like, if we're going to play, put the new guys out there. Let's see what they're made of so we can see what we have for the future. And people always talk about trading deadline, but if you're going to do trade deadline, do the trade line for years, for the years ahead, not for right now, because I'm not thinking about right now. This year is just a wash right now. I'm thinking for next year, year before that, at least 3 years. If you're going to get somebody that's going to last for at least 3 to 4 years so you can get your money's worth and you can develop a team and develop a structure and see what you have and what you already got. Because right now, these people ain't got no union. It's everybody for themselves. And it seems like every time players get their money, that's it. They just get their money. They don't play like they play when they were getting a contract year. And that's so depressing. You want to play for the love of the game.
Yeah, but only thing is, I feel what you're saying, but I don't think that this coaching staff got the longitude and latitude of 3 years. I think that at the end of this year, they're going to be looking at everybody, and especially how the Giants, if the Giants finish out strong and we dead last in this division, it's going to be trouble.
Oh, it's going to be real trouble. Right, like this year, like I look at this year, I said, this gets in the top 10. This gets in the top 10. That's all I want, the top 10 pick, and I'm looking forward to next year. I'm a diehard. I've been a diehard since they were 1-15, even when they were winning Super Bowls. I'm always going to be a Cowboy fan till the day I die. No I'm a ride or die.
No doubt, fam. Really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a good call. 682-214-4087 is the contact number, the hotline for your mind. You can also text that number and get everything with that too. So here we go. I posted down below 682-214-4087, and it is 7 o'clock. And y'all already know it's 7 o'clock on the dot. I need to eat. 760. What do you know? 760. Talk to me. 760. You're live.
Hey, so I got a question.
With
the defense that's going on this year, how do we not start looking at doing something major, getting rid of a coach, getting rid of somebody after giving up 30-plus almost every game?
Yeah, turn your radio down a little bit. I can see the echo. But, yeah, I feel what you're saying, 760. How can we not do anything major? Now, I do see some comments in the chat box saying, hey, we gave Garrett 10 years. But Garrett, out of 10 years, only had one losing season. And on top of that, he came in with a message of changing what we were seeing from the Wade Phillips, whatever his name is, administration. So what I'm thinking is that if this team have a boo-boo year, regardless of the situation of COVID, I think that Jerry Wayne Jones, understanding that his level of health and understanding the level of time, that he don't have a lot of time left on this planet. And I'm not trying to say, hey, he's going to die and perish off. He might outlive us all, but I don't think that he have that much patience with Mike McCarthy and company, especially if we still continue to look like historically bad. Somebody got to go. Maybe it's the defensive coordinator or somebody on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I mean, you look at Mike Nolan in his last 4 years as defensive coordinator being the lowest 5 years, and then coming in this year, and he's on track to be again the lowest for defense coordinator. How can you continue to allow him to be the coach and just say screw it, cut him, get him out, and put someone else in?
Yeah, I don't even know about that one. We got to change it out, man. We do. You spitting truth right there. Something's going to happen. I think that this week, I think that the pressure and the outlash from the media and from the Cowboy fans to the media is going to permeate down and echo to Jerry Wayne, and then something got to change from here.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call. I love watching your show.
Appreciate you. Yeah, good call from the 760. All right, so one more call, and I'm going to wrap up the phone lines. Somebody leave me with a good one, man. Somebody leave me with a good one. 609, you're live.
Hello?
You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, Law Nation, what's going on, man? True Cowboy fan since '78. We stink. Right. Like, this is bad. Like, the defense, the defensive line, the offensive line, there's no traction from the defensive line. The offensive line can't hold nobody. That game today was awful. I know Andy Dalton got hurt, but he's trash, though. Like, let's be truthful. You don't need to spend your money on the 22s. All you have to do is look and watch, and they're not even forcing the line back or nothing. The quarterback has more than 5 seconds to throw. Like, the guy was horrible today, but he had more than 5 seconds to throw the ball.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, he had all time in the earth to throw the ball. We're not creating pressure, and naturally the front four, regardless of what your schemes is as far as the back end, if they creating pressure, it don't matter how they line up. Right? You know, if you getting pressure from your front,
right?
Yeah, but we're not getting that. There's no exotic blitzing as well. So we're playing conservative. We're not getting to the quarterback, and this is like poo-poo football.
This is a joke, man. This is a joke. And I know they're saying, oh, Dak Prescott's going. I understand that. But Andy Dalton has to do something. He had to do something. Like he can't even throw the ball right. He can't even throw the ball right. The guy, DiNuccio, the first throw, it was great, but after that, we're gonna have to sign somebody now. It's just bad, man. It's bad. Mike Nolan has to go. He has to go. Somebody has to lose their job over this.
Man, we said that in unison, man. Somebody got to go. Yeah, man. Appreciate
Somebody has to lose their job. Like something has to happen. Either Mike McCarthy or Nolan. One of them has to go because Mike McCarthy, he looks on the sideline like he doesn't care. And I'm sorry, he just looks like he doesn't care.
Man, you spitting right, nothing but the truth. Like I didn't want to see that. You know, of course, I want to see something. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take out my time this week, and I'm gonna clip and showcase Mike McCarthy calling the plays on Green Bay Packers side, you know, and Mike McCarthy showing plays, doing play callings over here. Well, he's not doing play callings, but on the sidelines over here. Two different people. I seen Mike McCarthy get all down the throat of Aaron Rodgers, and he just don't even do nothing to these quarterbacks. And I know the offensive line is porous, but, you know, it's just something that's weird with me with Mike McCarthy right now.
Yeah, because he looks like he just doesn't care. And it's like, oh, I'm just there for the paycheck. It looks like you're there for the check. And that's it.
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Take it easy, bro.
Yes, indeed. That's the last call of the day, man. I'm shutting down the phone lines, but I really appreciate everybody that's tuning in to this episode. It's a long one, 3 hours and 30 minutes straight. No commercial breaks, right? Really appreciate those who subscribe to the channel, man. I really do appreciate you all. I'm going to go grab me something to eat, make my beard grow. I'm going to lick my wounds. I'm going to look at some of the tape, maybe sit back and watch this Sunday night football game, and just chill for right now. Maybe I'll dive into some film later on tonight. Y'all know I don't sleep, right? Y'all know I don't sleep, right? So this team, it's just one of those things whereas we can look back at it and we can complain, get mad at the sky for being blue, get mad at water for being wet, you know. But this team right now is not a threat. And I ain't trying to make it rhyme, but that's what's on my mind right now, Cowboy Nation. This team is just not doing it for us right now. And we got more passion than the doggone people out there that's playing and getting all of those coins, right? And I just can only imagine if I can be a fly on the wall, what the hell was the halftime speech was, you know? I mean, how can you really go into halftime and say, okay, we're doing a good job, we're doing a great job, the phone lines are off, but I really appreciate you for talking and tuning in over here from the 956. Really appreciate you so much. But we're going to have to change something. We're going to have to figure out something. Hey, the fish rots from the head. I want you guys to not give up, and I don't want you guys to not take it lightly for the Joneses. No. I'm commanding you guys so whatever platform that they have a message where you can type something in there. Go at them. Give them your pain. Give them your sorrows. Give them your heat action. Let them know that we don't accept this as Cowboys fans. Look, the reason why, even the Philadelphia Eagles, I hate to use them as a fan base, but they would not accept this. They will be going at the head of the owner, going at the head of the general manager. They will be demanding something. Dallas, I know we're a laid-back city over here. We all cool, calm, and collected. Give me a fifth of Cavassier or some hen or something like that. Give me a big old cigar. We sit back and chill. But no, it's not time for that. It's time to put your war hat on. Hey, the Star of Frisco is an open platform for those out there. Let's go up to Star of Frisco saying, hey, we want some change, Cowboy Nation. This is historically bad. Regardless of whether or not we got the Walmart All-Stars out there, this is still historically bad on defense. And we can't just be keep getting out there and trotting out the same thing. Now, I will say this. Even though Mike Nolan might not be the problem, but he got something on him that the issue keep following him wherever he goes. And I'm not trying to say that the players won in this particular argument, but somebody told me this one time before. Not everybody lying on you, right? There's some truth. So wherever Mike Nolan went to as the defensive coordinator since such and such years, he's been bad. Now, It could be the way he talked to people. It could be the way he handles situations. It could be that the players are doing things in spite of. I don't know. But we can't fire all 10 or 11 of the players. So at some point, somebody's head got to roll, if that makes any sense. Something got to move on. And even with the Mike McCarthy, look, he got to pull Kellen Moore to the side and say, hey, vertical concept routes is not going to work this time. Unless you're going to throw a deep pass. I'd at least like to see one deep pass if it's single high safety. Command your quarterback to even, if he can just drop back and close his eyes and throw it as far as he can to the left side of the field where Michael Gallup is at, one-on-one. Maybe they can call a pass interference. Maybe the ball can bounce strange and he can pick the ball up and get it out of the sky. We got to at least try it. We got to at least try it. And somebody got to have the cojones enough to look at Ezekiel Elliott and say, hey, you had multiple fumbles. Yes. We can say that it's not all your fault. But, man, when the quarterback goes your way, bad things are happening. Man, maybe we need to say a prayer for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But they got to figure that out too. They got to figure out why when the ball goes to Ezekiel Elliott way, if it bounces off his hands, it's picked off, or if he's running the ball through the splits, it's fumbling. They got to have that one-on-one encounter. They got to have somebody barking at them. And D-Law, I'm just going to go over everybody. D-Law, somebody got to tell him like, hey, we understand that you do good things as it relates to this and that. But we are paying you chunks of cash right now, and we're not getting our return. Maybe, just maybe, we have to sit you out for a game, a whole game. Maybe we got to get your leg together. I don't know. Maybe we got to do something extremely happen because right now, even when you're playing, we're historically bad. Jalen, we love you. We love all of the swipes. We love the fact that we invested and put money in your pockets right now. We love the fact that you got businesses dealing with the Cowboys, which I think that is a conflict of interest, by the way. But my thing is, something got to change. You're horrible in coverage. Somebody got to tell the truth. I will never forget story time. I was dropping my daughter off before COVID and all that stuff happened to the daycares. And it was early that morning. I picked her up, you know what I'm saying, to take her to the daycare place. You know how you have your daughter in your hand? And I'm buzzing her into the daycare and handing her off to the daycare sitter. And she said, Daddy. I said, what? She said, your breath stank. From the mouth of babe. She's 3 years old. I couldn't say, baby, why you lying? She called me out. And I said, oh, shoot. All I could do is laugh. But she was telling the truth. I can't get mad at the person that's telling the truth. My breath was funky. I was late. I didn't brush my teeth all the way. But that's the truth. I can't get mad at the truth. Let me know if I'm lying. I'm being transparent with you all. That's the real deal. From the mouth of babe, my breath was funky. I guarantee you, the owner of the daycare facility, she probably would never say it to my face. She probably like, well, this dude got high breath right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just talk about it amongst my people. I had to use myself in an open, transparent moment. That was many days ago, by the way. I think I got good breath. But from the mouth of babe, she didn't know how to lie to kick it. She just said, Daddy, your breath stank, you know? Oh, my goodness. So let's call a spade a spade. Jalen, your knee stank, baby. Your leg or foot, whatever it is. You can't cover in space. Somebody from the coaching staff got to tell him the truth. I need to get my daughter down there to say, hey, after watching y'all 22, you can't cut on a dime no more. Now she's 4 now, you know. You know, so what should we do in this situation? Should we continue to see these issues happen over and over and over again and expect these things to change differently? But I say all this time, man, y'all might want to write this down. Even the prize fighter continue to fight even when he's down. Let me find my victory music, man. I still got to give you guys something before I go. I just can't get up out of here without playing it, because I still think that in the hearts of hearts, we still got a chance, right? We still got a puncher's chance, but something got to change. Maybe this week, Jerry Wayne will go out there and make something happen. Maybe he will pull the trigger on this guy. Or maybe he'll pull the trigger on that guy. Maybe he will come out and say, hey, I was wrong. I no longer need to be the general manager for this team. Let me hear it. to not fight, right? But I don't come from that cut. I don't come from that grain. I come from the grind and the mindset that, hey, we playing against those funky Philadelphia Eagles, and now we want to be some player haters up in this joint. We're going to be some mercenaries around this joint. If anything, we should be mad enough and say, let me blow my fire out right quick so you guys can see my full flavor. I want to tell you guys that we should look at this thing and say, we're going to be mercenaries. We're going to give them the full heat. We lost. We losing. That's okay. But dog it, we're going to continue to fight. When you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer. See this thing through. Even hope may seem but futile. Then with trouble may be beset. Remember, you facing what other legends have met. Keep your head high, eyes through the finish. See this thing through, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. I got nothing but energy. Marathon for your mind, baby, yeah. I'm the only one with passion out there. I'm the only one that don't care, right? Nothing but